Is that a picture of me behind you?
Yeah.
It's like weirdly pixelated for me.
I did that. No, I did that because I knew you would hate it.
I don't love it. Who was it?
Hate that for you.
I hate that for you. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Hello and welcome to Reaction Shots for March. We are joined by ourselves, Isla Hink, Michael Huber, and Matthew Walden. And we have a very special guest this month, AJ LoCascio. He's got a little alien, Toy Story alien squeaky toy.
The claw is iconic.
The claw.
I got this in an actual claw machine. I was very excited.
That is
In
incredible.
Glendale, California.
That's perfect.
And beautiful Glendale.
My grandpa lived in Glendale his entire life.
Huh.
Every time in today's episode that the secret word said, AJ is going to be squeaking that toy. So look forward to
The
that.
secret word is Glendale, California.
Glendale, California.
Did you know I lived in Glendale, California for 7 years?
Nice.
Yeah. Please don't make me do that.
If I had more time than 5 minutes after we're done with this to edit this episode, I would make the screen blink Glendale every time we said it. So just picture that whenever we say.
Hey, Isla, you've been to my house in Glendale.
I have indeed been to your house in Glendale, California. Beautiful Glendale, California.
People are already stopping hitting.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't watch
People
this.
are already tired of this. All right, so
Sorry.
on the docket today, we are going to talk about what we've liked lately. Huber's got some news. The news segment for us. I'm going to run down the Oscars. We got a few comments from our patrons on that. And then we're talking X-Men, baby. X-Men. All of them. The movies, the spin-off movies. Yes, even that weird Wolverine one. And we're talking about...
The Wolverine or X-Men Origins Wolverine?
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That's the weird one.
Yeah. The one where...
Deadpool's weird?
Deadpool was weird. The one where Deadpool was weird. That's the Friends episode title. And then, of course, we're talking a little bit about X-Men 97, in which AJ LoCascio plays the voice of Gambit.
So sick.
Crazy.
Yeah, but first,
Crazy.
AJ, introduce yourself for people who don't know. You're prolific.
Am I?
You've been doing a lot. You've been Marty McFly in the Back to the Future game. You were Mark in Seedlings, my show.
Yes.
You were
That's it.
You voiced various Harrison Ford characters. You
Anime characters?
are in the Spirits of the, what is it? Gremlins, Spirits of the Mogwai.
Gremlin.
Something.
Secrets of the Mogwai.
Secrets of the
Just look
Mogwai.
for
Yeah,
my-
there it is.
Yeah, I'm
That's a fun
Gizmo
poster.
and that.
That's a good one.
Gizmo, that's the main guy.
That's the
You're
main.
like,
I
how
used
in
to
the
have
world
this
can
back
he
here,
respond?
but he kept falling down. But he used to be back
that's
here.
cute,
Yeah,
though.
he's adorable. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying, Matthew? What did you?
I was just saying, what a
Gambit.
career. How, we can keep listing. Yeah, it's
let's keep
incredible.
listing.
Like,
Weird.
yeah, Voltron. Yeah.
Voltron.
Voltron?
And Prince
You were that
Lenore.
prince.
I was that
in
prince.
Voltron.
Yes, yeah, and now Gambit, which is wild. Yeah. If I have one like weird thing that I think maybe is how this keeps happening, which I'm so lucky and thankful, knock on wood, is these are all things I was obsessed with as a kid. You know, like these toys up here, like my little Figment toys from when I was a child.
I
and
love Figment.
yeah, I do too, and I got to voice him in the racing game, the Disney
What?
Speedstorm. That was
even
Figment Disney Speedstorm.
Damn it. I love Figment.
Gotta boot
But
it up.
these are just things that I was obsessed with as a kid, so I feel super. I have my this Gambit that my friend got me in college, which is one of many that I have. It's just so much. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, other than yay, I'm very lucky and thankful, and I'm a nerd.
And we're very lucky and thankful to have you on the show. AJ is one of my closest friends, and so I'm happy you were allowed to do this.
Me too. I wasn't sure. They basically said if it's a close friend, go ahead, and I was like, well, she's a coworker first. That's what I said. That's a running.
We did used to work
We
together.
did used to
at
work
Game Trailer.
together. I always say, coworker first, friend
Coworker first.
second.
Yeah. You at least said that you said something.
I know.
like
I say that to her all the
recently.
time, and I don't know why, but it makes her crazy in the funniest way.
She
Coworker
told me-
first.
She told me you said that, and she was like actually kind of sad about it. He
Which I
loves
think is
it.
brilliant.
He loves it.
I love it. It's delicious
Oh,
because it's just silly. It's so silly. It's like let's put
Yeah.
not labels. Let's not put labels on this friendship. You're a coworker.
Coworker
We'll
first.
see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop with this friendship for sure. You know, I'm
Any
waiting
day
for
now.
AJ's representatives to lay me off as a friend and coworker of AJ.
No longer
Yeah.
have contact.
Yeah, you're no longer in the pantheon.
We're
of
not
AJ
feeling that
LoCascio.
we're heading in a direction that you're going to be a part of. I think that's the letter I'm
That's how they
drafting.
say it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll look forward to my representative receiving that letter. Cool. All right. What we usually do to start off the show is just to kind of like off topic, just say what we've seen lately. The segment is called "What Have You Liked Lately?" But if you watched something you hated, tell us about it too. Does somebody
do
want to
that?
go first? You don't have to go first, AJ.
Thank you.
Matt, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Or Huber?
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, hit it.
I have been watching a lot of TV shows since there were so many movies for Oscars, and so we had our TV show episode last episode, and so I kept running with TV shows. I watched The Flight Attendant, which is not exactly recent, but I caught up on it. I decided
My
to
parents
go.
like this one.
Yeah, I decided to give it a try. Jessica, my wife, she's been really into murder mystery books lately, and I was like, let's give this a shot. It looks fun. Let's give it a try, and it's really fun. If you don't know the setup, it's a flight attendant who likes to party a little too hard.
Nice.
she hits the sauce pretty hard in an impressive amount. An impressive amount of alcohol gets down by this flight attendant. So much that you do feel bad for her. Like she's going through some intense like stuff with her memories and her family, and she gets involved in an international murder conspiracy. And it feels
Love
like
it.
a cozy beach read of a TV show. The score feels like Sneakers, the movie Sneakers with Robert
Shit, yeah, I
Redford.
love
I
sneakers.
love when we bring up sneakers.
We
Yeah,
talked
I've heard
about
of that.
sneakers on our Hidden Gems episode 100 years ago.
Yeah, so if you want a score that's that feels like Sneakers, reminiscent of that, and the show's pace is so fast, it does not slow down for a second. It's on HBO,
Love that.
and so that's
Gilmore
fun.
Girls speed.
I have not.
Offensively fast.
So much murder in Gilmore Girls. Lorelai, where's
Anybody
father?
get murdered in
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls?
I don't think there's any murder.
There should have been, probably.
Yeah.
There
far be it from the Gilmore Girls to have something important or interesting happen.
Gilmore Girls is so divisive. I've talked to people who it makes them feel murderous. I have
Nobody
yet to
talks
see it.
like that.
Yeah.
it's a show.
The dialogue is not so like I don't feel it's like that abrasive
manic.
itself. Yeah.
Manic is the word.
Yeah. But I recommend Flight Attendant. It's fun. You can probably get down it in a week really quickly and have a good time
Down
with
it the way Haley Kiyoko downloads some alcohol.
Downloads.
Is that the actress's name? Downloads?
You said
Downs.
downloads. It's just
Damn it. I screwed up my joke.
you're always thinking about torrents and
Yeah.
upload speeds.
You wouldn't download a car.
You know, if I could, I would. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
I?
it. Can
wouldn't-
soon with digital printers.
Yeah, you
or
wouldn't
3D
download
printers. Yeah.
SO1EO2 of the flight attendant.
I get that. Because I'm a bad person.
Because you're a bad person.
Yeah.
We won't tell your representatives.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Maddie P.
on
Baby?
the recommendation of the Discord, the patrons,
Hell yeah.
Holefish. I don't know if that's how you pronounce this person's name or handle. Holefish. I don't know if that
Oh,
sounds.
Holefish. Yeah.
Yeah. Extraordinary. We've been watching that. It's a British show on Hulu. It's about someone in a world where everyone has a superpower, except for the protagonist. They do not have a
Oh.
superpower.
Fun.
And
It's a fun premise.
it's expected like a coming of age thing where like you just discover your superpower, and they did not. And they're kind of like I hate to say this, kind of a loser. That's kind of their thing. Is they're kind of like
I mean,
a
they would
loser.
have to be.
Yeah. And she's very funny. Reminds me a lot of like just like what it's like to be in college and finding your way and just hanging out in an apartment and getting into like just mistakes, and it's really funny. And the music budget is wild on this show. Like the needle drops. Like each episode has like 10 like indie songs or hip hop songs that are really recognizable or sound like they should be. So thanks for the recommendation on that one. We have loved it.
Hellfish, shout out.
Yeah, we have loved it.
Shout out.
And then,
Shout out.
yeah. And we are finally watching Reservation Dogs.
I still need to
so
see
good.
that. I've heard it's incredible.
You
I
watched
don't know
it,
anything
Huber?
about any of these things.
Yeah,
I'm just
I haven't
like,
seen the newest season though, so I'm a little behind.
We're in
Nice.
season 2 right now. I've heard so much about it forever, and I was like, I need to watch this. It's
Blood loves that one.
yeah,
So good.
it's really really good. It's about just a American Indian or indigenous reservation, and a gang of teenagers who remind me a lot of the people I grew up with in Hawaii. Just kind of like wanting to seem really tough, but also have a lot of like internal angst and are shy and like just trying to project out into the world like, don't worry, like I'm actually tough and strong, even though inside they feel kind of broken. That was like what my friend group was like. And they had the love for hip hop, a love for like cool movies, and just got into all kinds of like mischievous pranks and hijinks and heartbreak also. And it handles it all so well. It's a fantastic show. It's a fantastic, like 10 out of 10 show. level, I think.
Top tier, top tier.
I gotta see that.
So that's what I've been up to. Yeah.
Hubie, you want to go next?
Sure. Still watching the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's very funny.
It's great.
JG Wentworth.
Yeah,
great.
JG Wentworth joke. So good. I think there's only like 2 more episodes. It's almost
Just
over.
like Shogun.
Shogun has 4 more.
Oh, 4
So,
more.
yep, there's gonna be 10.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. I thought
Shogun-
there was only 2 left,
Yeah.
and I was like, huh?
Yeah, we got it. We got
Okay,
4
all
more.
right, all right.
Settle in. Shogun's the best show on TV.
Shogun is goddamn incredible.
By far. Like, this is the only thing anyone should be watching.
It's
I'm serious.
I've heard
it's
nothing but good
electric.
things, and the little
Shogun.
blurb picture thing that popped up on was
Yeah.
it HBO? I was like, that looks neat, but
Yeah.
the little part of my brain that was I was like, oh, that looks epic. That likes Lord of the Rings and stuff. I was like, this looks cool.
Shogun,
Yeah.
it feels like it felt when Game of Thrones season 1 was happening.
Well,
like
that's a
it
strong-
feels like
It's
yeah,
magic.
yeah.
I feel
mean,
like
we'll
limited
see if
series
it
are
shits
just
the bed, but
limited series are just the best.
right, and it's ending. Yeah, so it's
10
like,
episodes and done.
yeah, we'll get into that with one of my things, but yeah.
What else?
Shogun is so good.
Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live has been phenomenal. I've waited so long for Rick Grimes to come back, and it is delivering so hard.
I didn't know
It
there
is
was
so good.
a Walking Dead show on anymore. I thought Walking Dead was over.
Dude, AJ, this is gonna blow your mind. This is like the 7th spin-off.
That does blow
an
my mind.
exaggeration?
No, there's Walking Dead, there's Fear the Walking Dead, there's The Walking Dead World Beyond, there's Tales from the Walking Dead, there's The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, The Walking Dead Dead City,
Holy
and now
crap.
The Walking Dead The Ones Who Live.
My God.
It is insane.
Did you see that? Did I send? I think I sent it to you. It was like Hard Drive or Onion or something where it says like, AMC announces that every single zombie getting its own spin-off show.
That's so funny.
That feels
so
that's
funny.
what that sounds like to
Yeah.
me. Is
Yeah,
I
yeah.
legitimately didn't know there was a currently running Walking Dead thing, which I can say I'm not involved in any Walking Dead IP right now. I was at a point, but now I'm,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, that's nuts. I get it. It's
Yeah.
fun to watch people just
mean,
be
shit,
like,
yeah,
gotta
dude,
survive.
yeah.
Gotta survive.
It-
Stuff, Lori.
The Walking
Bang.
Dead is like really therapeutic because it deals with like lonely, damaged people that are put through a lot of torment,
Hell yeah.
and the way they get through
What's
it.
that about?
The way they
yeah, what's that like?
the way they get through it is through love and bonds. So
It's like
I
a
will
sci-fi show.
sure.
Okay.
I will back The Walking Dead forever until it is like fully off the air. I can't get enough. I love it so much.
That's amazing. I love that
it's
it makes
all 'cause of the
anything that makes you happy. I'm like, yay.
It makes me so happy.
Huber's happy, and that makes me happy.
Still watching Tokyo Vice season 2. Season 2 is a lot better than 1. I'm really loving it. But Matthew, dude, when you said that you hated the main characters, I can't get that out of my head. And now I think I hate them even more.
I didn't mean to incept you.
No, you're so right, though. Like, Ansel Elgort walks around this show with just, like, I'm not even exaggerating, just the biggest shit-eating grin in every scene. He's just walking around like...
Isn't he problematic in real life or something?
I think there's some sketchiness. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell tales out of school. I
But-
don't know.
I feel like you could say that
Super
about
good show.
every actor
Yeah,
that's
literally
on
everyone.
TV or in a movie. It's like, didn't they do something terrible? It's like, you could throw a stone.
What have you done, AJ?
There's
Drinking,
like,
I call this vanilla LaCroix when I know that it's limoncello. And
My God.
I know.
He
'cause
downs
it-
those like the flight attendant.
it's
living dangerous.
It tastes like cream soda to me. So I'm always like, I'll have a vanilla
Yeah.
LaCroix. And my girlfriend Erica is always like, it's limoncello. And I'm like, but it tastes like vanilla.
Idiot.
I know. I'm a dumb.
LaCroix makes me dizzy for some reason.
Makes you dizzy.
Yeah.
Weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it the essence?
Somehow the essence that they use
is weird.
upsets me, whereas like Trader Joe's and Spindrift and all that doesn't.
This is the
So,
only
I don't know.
LaCroix I buy because everything else I don't love. There was a point where I
The
was.
key lime pie one is crazy.
That one's interesting. I like that one.
They pack a lot of flavor in there.
A lot
For
of
an
key, a lot of
essence.
lime, a lot of pie. Although it doesn't have pie in the title, does it? It's just-
Yeah, I think it's just called key lime. You're right.
Well, that's what's weird with these
the-
things is they all kind of taste like I kind of have a memory of what limoncello could be or key
Right,
lime.
right.
It's, yeah.
It's like that scene in The Matrix. How do
Yeah.
they know what tasty wheat tastes like?
Maybe it tastes
Exactly.
like tuna fish or oatmeal.
The
Yeah.
Japanese characters are the best part of Tokyo Vice, though. One of the characters on that
100%,
show...
yeah.
There's a character on that show that is one of my favorite characters on TV right now. I love this person. So, super good show. I really like it. Just the visuals of that show are so strong. They're just constantly going to the sickest spots ever, like on location. And that I feel like is dying in today's filmmaking. So
Shogun feels pretty on location.
show for sure.
Tokyo Vice's camera crew is great. They're on point.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know
Yeah,
if they've
it's
got like a B camera
beautiful.
team and like and
Yeah.
the directors are doing it great because like wasn't it Michael Mann for the first episode?
pilot.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they carried it forward as far as the visual look
actually-
of the show. Yeah.
It's actually so. You bring up such a funny point because they do this thing in episode 1 where they
Used by
show you
humor.
kind of the future, and so they're like they show a scene and they're like 2 years earlier, whatever. That's the very first scene of the entire show. That was filmed by Michael Mann. Eventually, they catch up to that and they re-film that scene.
Oh.
So I went back and I compared the newer one to Michael Mann's, and it was just like night and day, dude. Michael Mann, professional.
Michael Mann's got a
Oh,
vibe.
yeah.
Yeah, the
For
vibe
sure.
was so different. I was like, I don't remember it being like this, like brightly lit, and like surely it wasn't. So super
Collateral, dude. God tier
interesting. The
vibes.
best. One more show, one more movie. I want Matthew Walden's take on this. The show called The Program. Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard
We've
of
been
it.
talking about this all day. What the hell is this?
tell me.
Dude. Okay, so there's 2 documentaries right now that are very hard, very disturbing watches because
on
they
Set?
quiet on set, and now The Program, and they're dealing with unconscionable, just horrendous abuse of minors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
Program
can't-
is on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is insane.
It seems too intense.
The
to
program is on Netflix, and it's filmed by people that were in this program. And the premise is that it's billed as like a reform school.
Me. Uh-oh.
So these people come with their parents' approval.
Yeah.
But you quickly learn that the parents were kind of duped too. But still, they basically get kidnapped and taken to this facility where they have to earn their freedom. They have no contact with the outside world whatsoever. It's worse than prison, straight up. Like some of these kids ended up like going to prison and they were like, "Oh my god, prison was the best."
Jesus.
It was
Whoa.
it was like a 5-star resort compared to what we went through here. They have like so much behind the scenes footage. They have all these people that like were involved in the program. It is just really well made, very tough watch, of course, as a lot of true crimes are. But just being able to hear from the people involved and like they get to tell their story. Really good documentary, trending hard on Netflix, like top 10. So good.
Yeah, when prison is an upgrade, when the American prison system is an upgrade, that's a bad deal.
Child prison is essentially what a child. I can't.
Yeah, it's insane, dude.
Yeah, the amount of things
they have footage of it.
The amount of things there are where it's like especially kids, where like what was Paris Hilton came out and she was doing a whole thing about like Provo or those like kids schools where they were like torturing them and essentially like living in horrible conditions. Like, there's no fury and frustration and just like how the hell is this happening like that? I can't.
Right,
I can't deal with that because you just want to it's
when I'm watching it, I'm like, how is this happening?
I can't. Well, now I know what I won't be watching because it's like I've accidentally stumbled into those things. Like, what was the one with like the nun? That was like it's like a scary Netflix documentary. I was like, oh, a spooky nun documentary, and then it's all about
I
these.
know what you're talking about.
And I
forget the
messed
name of
me
it.
up.
Like Keeper, my brother's
yes, it was
my
like
sister's
Keepers or something, and I was like, this is. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I was miserable.
That one was so hardcore that I started it and just dipped out. I was like, I'm good.
My problem is it's like a horror film where I have to see how the villain was defeated.
See how it ends.
Because we watched something else. Is my partner's super into true crime, and she put on something, and I was like, I need to know how this ends. I can't know that this person's just out there, that like looking in windows, and I need to. So I stayed up till like 5 a.m. watching this documentary, being like, okay, good, he's dead, and then
they got him. They got him.
Yeah,
but
Jesus Christ.
I hate it. I don't. Yeah.
And then last and certainly not least, Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, you saw it?
I did
I
in
wanna
the
see
theater.
it.
I went
I
to the
haven't seen
theater by myself to watch this.
I don't know what any of this is. I feel like you guys are making
Like-
this
Late
up.
Night,
Like,
Late Night with the Devil is right up your alley.
What is
AJ.
this?
Everyone needs to watch
This
Late
sounds great. Yeah,
pitch it.
truly, everyone needs to watch this movie. That's all I'm going to say about that.
all right.
And the premise, it's a mockumentary about a late night talk show
Is it
host. No, I guess-
Mockumentary implies
okay,
funny.
fake documentary then.
Sure,
What would
all
that
right.
be?
I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Fictionalized documentary.
It's like a fictionalized
It's
documentary.
a narrative in a documentary style, I guess.
Yeah. So it's got a documentary style and a found footage style, and it's about this talk show host that
Late night talk show. 70s.
host that has a possessed person on the talk show that night.
That sounds.
And I don't want to say anything else. I truly don't want to say anything
Alright.
else about
That
it.
sounds
Goes
cool.
from there.
It's 90 minutes long. It goes quick. It is an incredible theater experience. Very good movie to see in the theater.
Is it too scary for baby?
No, absolutely not. There are some intense spots, but honestly, when I came out of it, I was like, this is more of a thriller than a horror movie. It does have some horror stuff, but to me, it teeters towards thriller. And to me, also, it is one I would highly recommend to people that get scared of horror movies heavily.
Yeah.
Like I would give I would say like Scream you could watch maybe.
Oh,
Scream
sure,
is like
yeah.
kind of intense.
Yeah,
And then-
Scream I don't find scary at all.
yeah. So like Scream or like this, I put it in the pantheon of like,
Sure.
if horror really does freak you out and you can't handle it, I still think you could probably get through Late Night with the Devil.
So like Alien, or
Like
is that
Alien.
kind of where it's like, or is
Sure.
I don't know. That's
Alien freaks people out though because it has like
Sure.
jump scares and a lot of darkness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
suspense, like that dread, you know.
I feel like Alien
Let's
is
go
gateway
see it
horror to some
tomorrow,
degree.
AJ.
What was that?
yeah, but
Let's go see it.
I think
I'll
because
be
of
at
the,
home
I
and
think
you know that, but this does
I
sound
know. I'm
tempting.
like, have I ever gotten you to go to a fucking movie?
I think
No.
I think people can handle this, and I think it lends itself to being such a good theater movie because the talk show format, it's a late night show, so the audience in the movie is like you, the
It's like
audience as
you.
well,
Cool.
and
Yeah.
they kind of are like a
That's
buffer,
awesome.
kind of like a buffer to the fear, you know? It's like
that's
so it gives
cool.
it that vibe of like there's some tension going on here, but it's also like the people in the crowd are there too, and they're like, what's going on here?
I want to
Like,
see
That's
it.
great.
It is.
I'll
it's-
grab Sophia
Yeah.
and Erica and we'll go see
Yeah,
it.
you guys will have
coming
fun.
to-
I'll be at home eating cake.
If you don't get to see it in the theater, it is coming to Shudder next month.
Oh, great.
So it'll be on
Oh, okay.
digital next month.
All right.
So
I tried to find it streaming this week and I couldn't. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming up. It's coming up, Matthew.
Great. So there's this
Drive
movie.
Away Dolls just hit streaming, and I want to watch that too. What, Matt?
There's this movie similar to this one, and it's like a VHS thing, and it's called like this Halloween night special, and it's like a public access call symbol. It's like WNUF Halloween night special. I think that's the name of it.
That sounds
and it came out like 15 years ago maybe, and it's all shot on VHS, and it's like a Geraldo style guy who goes to investigate a house where a bunch of murders happened, and this whole crowd in this town comes out, and they're all dressed up in Halloween costumes, and they're like, yeah, and Geraldo's like, what do you think about the murders that happened here? And they're all in their Halloween costumes. They're like, we think it's amazing. And he goes into the house, and like, I don't want to say what happens because it's kind of fun to see for yourself how it plays out.
Looks around and nothing happens, and he goes home.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you how it's very campy and
Credits
fun.
roll.
Yeah.
Credits roll.
There are
Thanks
old
for
like
watching.
commercials, like public access style commercials shot on VHS. Oh,
That's
I
cool.
love it. I love it. Highly recommend it. WNUF, I think, because it's like fun scrambled WNUF. Halloween special. I totally recommend looking that up too.
That sounds
Double
wild.
feature with Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ, you see anything lately?
I'm watching Buffy for the first time.
Oh shit!
First time?
Yeah, I've never seen it
What
before.
season? What episode? Where are you? Tell me everything
I'm
now.
on like season 4, episode like 13. Giles just turned into a demon and no one can understand him, which was really funny. One of my favorite moments. I will say I
fucking love Giles.
he's the best. He's my favorite character. But
Giles, dude.
not loving the college years. I feel like anytime you go to the college years in anything, you're always like, I kind of wish it really stayed in the school. Though I loved the ending of season 3, and that was all brilliant.
Dude.
But yeah, I'm kind of like season 3 was so good that I'm like slogging through it a little bit. But
it'll get there. It'll get back there. I promise.
Okay, good. Because season 3 had like Twin Peaksy moments, and like the horror was really tight, and the characters are great, and but it there's this thing that happens where like if 3 people recommend something around the same time, I'll finally be like, all right, I'll watch it. And I was like, this is great. I totally get this. It scratches that 90s itch for me, and now I finally get all the references that everyone's made that I've always been like, what?
The Scooby Gang.
Spike? But it's great. I've been enjoying it, and it's perfectly 90s. Some of it, of course, doesn't age well, particularly Xander.
The Joss Whedon-ness of it all.
But overall, it's a really fun, it's a fun, silly 90s show with some like actually pretty heavy, cool stuff in it every once in a while, and I love oh my God, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I love.
I was just gonna ask you, what are your thoughts on her?
She's great. I mean, she perfectly plays. She knows what kind of show she's in.
Or whatever.
So what? You're on season 4?
Season 4, yeah, like
episode.
It's like episode 10 or 11. It's past Giles turning into a monster, and then.
Oh my God. That episode's
I know.
crazy.
I don't want to say anything. It's like, has he watched it yet? Has he not watched it yet?
I watched what was it, Hush? I watched, which...
Okay, yeah. What do you think? What do you think of that episode?
I was going to say he probably didn't.
Well, the funny thing is like... Okay, so everyone was like, wait till you get Hush. And wait till you get to Hush. And I was like...
He got parasited.
What's parasited?
He did.
What the hell's that?
You got... Your expectations were super, super high.
Before Parasite came out, the journalist said it's the greatest movie of all time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it was just...
Many people told me it was a transcendent masterpiece before I saw it.
So the visuals of them floating and smiling, brilliant. Loved that. That was awesome. But like as far as the actual episode goes, I was like, eh. But there's things I like a lot more. Again, Giles is the...
What season is Once More with Feeling?
If you like it for the characters,
I think that's later,
the novelty episodes aren't really going to do it for you.
There was one that happened earlier that I can't remember that I was like, this might be my favorite so far, but it was like a completely silly Monster of the Week one that now I can't remember. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, it definitely it comes and goes, but like... I also just am not down with the no Angel thing. I want Angel. Like, I love...
Dude.
Depowered Spike is fun, but...
Angel, the show, is so good. If you love Angel, you would honestly probably like it more.
So here's the weird thing: is I watched Angel as a kid, and I liked it, but I didn't know it was related to the Buffy world. So I kind of like there's like a bunch of...
They came on right after each other.
Yeah, it was. So I watched it, and I was like, "What's this Angel show? This is really neat," and like got into it, but had no idea it was related to Buffy. So there's stuff about this. I was like, "Oh, I remember this. There was like a puppet in one of the Angel episodes, and like weird." Yeah. But
Angel's so hardcore.
yeah,
I remember rewatching the Buffy movie and realizing how like formative it was for me. Like I watched it a couple years ago and I was like, oh, like this movie made me a lesbian. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
there's a lot going on in that movie. It's a weird. It's weird to like halfway through us watching. I stopped it and put on the movie just to see, and I was like, this is odd. It feels.
I love that
strange.
movie.
This is the Paul Rubin
Straight
one,
up.
the kind of like
Yes.
Oh yeah. That one's. I like that one. That one's fun.
I like that one.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
good.
it.
Dude, you're floating, man.
Matthew.
He's
Luke
amazing.
Perry.
Yeah.
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry and Kristen Swanson.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, that's right.
Swanson.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Teen Witch
like
in
Donald
a weird way.
Sutherland or whatever.
Yeah. He's like the creepy like
Homeless
Buffy.
much?
You have
She
to.
says
Yeah,
to him?
he just shows
Yeah.
up. I love when
Yeah.
the storytelling in it is very odd because it's literally just
it's an insane
you're the
movie.
chosen one. It's like okay, like
Do you have a birthmark? Ew, that gross thing. I had it removed.
great. If you guys haven't seen Teen Witch, you should watch it though. If
I haven't seen
that is, you will fucking love it. Sorry, can I say the F word? I did it.
Fuck no.
It's Teen Witch is a masterfully weird movie where you think you're like, it's a teen, and I actually started rewatching it again recently. We're like, it's a teen 80s movie, maybe 90s, and you don't even know what's coming. Like it is the weird.
like Witches of Eastwick.
Well, it's not even.
just like zigs and zags where you don't expect.
It's like stylistically completely out of its mind. Where like someone will just they'll do like a rap battle or like a doo-wop battle, or like someone's like, hey guys, I just learned this new cheer, and they're like, I like boys, and they start singing this insane song that they all know the choreography to, and the main character's just kind of like watching them do this in a locker room, and it's the whole like top that
Teen
scene.
Witch tonight, dude.
Yeah, please watch Teen Witch. You don't even know. Like, it is a completely nonsensical, weird, beautiful movie, and so strange.
Sick.
Anything else that you?
I don't know.
AJ,
Watching
before I
X-Men. That's it. I'm watching X-Men, Buffy,
yeah,
and
X-Men
yeah.
'97, dude.
Dope.
Real quick.
Oh my god, I forgot a big one. I'm sorry.
my
real
Lord.
quick.
This is gonna be an 8-hour episode,
Real
Huber.
quick, just want to give a quick shout out to Manhunt about Lincoln getting assassinated. Really good show. Super intricate.
It was like the first, like, Silence of the Lambs thing.
Oh yeah, that's Manhunter.
Manhunter.
Yeah. Manhunt though, Lincoln assassination show, Apple TV, just really layered storytelling. I really like it, dealing with a lot of different factions in regards to Lincoln being assassinated. Just a good show, really good show. If you like historical stuff as well, I highly recommend.
Is there a talking animal in it? Because if so,
Spoilers,
I
dude.
won't watch it.
What's up?
There has to be a talking animal in it for me to watch it. That's
Lincoln
my...
had a trained pig that could, if I recall history correctly, he wouldn't talk, but he would
trained
dance.
pig with a gun. That's the...
Yeah, he had a. Yeah. People think he might have been the one who assassinated him. I don't know.
knows?
The pig turned on him.
Yeah.
The show's very it's coming out at a perfect time because it is extremely
Like my son.
relevant today. Like it is insane that like
That's
this
depressing.
Yeah,
this show takes place
absolutely
in
depressing. Yeah.
1800s, fucking 1800s,
relevant.
and it's like this shit is still today. Like what?
That's when
the
you
hell?
realize that like Do the Right
Yeah.
Thing was made 40 years ago
Yeah.
or whatever, and you're just like, well, this shit just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
Hooray.
Yay! On a lighter note, I rewatched The Kid Detective with Elise actually the other day.
Kid Detective.
Just shout out to The Kid Detective.
Yeah, it's a great
That
movie.
movie doesn't get enough
I remember
love.
you brought it up one time like years ago.
You would
It's
like
so
it.
awesome. Yeah.
I fucking love it.
It
It's
sounds
pitch
awesome.
black comedy, like dark comedy. Just like it does like growing up and being disappointed really well. Matthew and one of our screenplays is like loosely like, I don't know, vibe wise. I was pretty inspired by it when we were writing it.
I like the tone of it. It's got. I mean,
The tone is really
This
good.
is not exactly the tone, but it's next door neighbors with like kind of like the low key Shane Black, like kiss kiss bang
Yeah.
bang kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where
Shout
the
out.
main character is kind of like stumbling his way through a mystery.
It feels like
Like
it feels
Brick.
like The Nice Guys or Brick.
Shout
Yeah.
out Brick.
It feels like Brick or The Nice Guys meets
Yeah.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang kind of.
Matt, you look like you're in a Limp Bizkit video. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You're like leaning against the
like
wall,
Jamiroquai.
and there's the fisheye lens. Yeah,
Leaning on the wall.
like
Yeah.
Method Man's gonna pop out.
been-
And like,
I've been standing up for 12 hours, so now I need to lean against
Jesus
the wall.
Christ,
If
dude,
you-
sit down.
I'm 60 years old, so
if you remove your hand, the flats will the wall will come
the
down.
wall of
Exactly.
Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah, Shogun is incredible.
Shogun.
Sophia and I just finished season 1 of Constellation on Apple TV.
You guys are making all these up. I swear none of these are real shows.
Yeah, none of these shows
Yeah.
are real. That's the point of this podcast. We talk about fictional movies and shows.
It's all a bit.
Yeah, X-Men's not real, right? Because that'll kind of throw the premise.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Constellation is cool. It's got what's her name? Numira Pace. It's cool. It's weird. It's not perfect. I enjoyed it. I was a little disappointed. It was one of those things where it's like,
The ending could tip it.
well, no, it's like halfway through the last episode, Sophia and I were like, boy, they got a lot of shit to wrap
Oh
up.
no.
And then it's just like cliffhanger for season 2. We're like, fuck, I thought it was a limited series. I thought it was limited, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's maybe gonna not renewed yet. So sorry, Alice. I don't know.
Dang.
There was one of the.
And then
Sorry.
Go.
I was just gonna say the first Lord of the Rings. I forget who it was. One of my friends was in the theater, and at the end of it, someone screamed, "What? There's more!" I was like really upset that there was more movies, and I'm like, "How did you get all the way through this and not know that?"
Yeah, that was like people who didn't see, because it flashes by pretty briefly at the beginning of Dune Part 1, but like the Part 1,
Oh yeah.
some people didn't catch that it was a
Yeah,
Part
yeah.
1. They just thought it was Dune.
What the hell?
And so when it ends, they're just like, huh,
Oh yeah. Did I talk about that? I saw
Dune 2.
Yeah.
I saw
I
Dune
did
2,
too.
and
I saw
like,
Dune 2 also,
Dude,
yeah.
I saw Dune 2 in the IMAX. Like,
saw it on IMAX.
Ghostbusters.
can I say both of these
I need
things?
to see that too.
Can I say both? Like Dune 2 Part 2, 10 out of 10. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Wait, you're
10
disappointed?
out of 10. I was disappointed in
Wait,
it.
is
Honestly.
your
I
10 out
kinda
of
was a
10
little
the
too-
disappointment you
No,
feel?
it is a 10 out of
Ranking
10.
the
That's why,
disappointment.
yeah. No, it
It's-
is a 10 out of 10. Straight up. It's amazing.
a cinematic masterpiece.
but I
and-
was disappointed.
And after watching it, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
huh.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
same.
Denis Villeneuve actually himself said
10 out of 10, I'm disappointed. Yeah.
he said 10 out of 10,
yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
No, he said it's not a sequel, it's a part 2. And that's kind of what I had said to you. I'm like,
But it,
it's
But
just
then
the
there's a-
second half of that movie.
but the way, like, I mean, we all know Dune is a saga, and there's a lot of books.
Yeah.
Like, it's part 2 of blank.
Well,
Like,
he'll probably
I
do
was
Dune
not
Messiah.
satisfied, dude.
He'll
I was
probably
not
do Dune
satisfied.
You're not supposed
I
to.
was
That's
so
the point.
into it. I was like, yeah.
I loved. I loved it, but I was
yeah.
at the same time, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I appreciate the changes he made from the book, which makes the point of Dune a lot more like digestible and understandable for audiences. Because a lot of people read Dune and they were like, "Yeah, Paul, go, man, get him," you know, like White Messiah, sick, you know. And then he actually wrote Dune Messiah to be like, "No, dumbasses, like Paul ain't good.
Some of
these guys are not good."
Some of the side characters I thought were just so underdeveloped. Like Zendaya in this movie was just like not great.
Wait till I tell you, she's
And,
like
like-
basically nothing in the book,
Yeah,
and she's like the linchpin of like
yeah.
I don't know.
And there's
Stilgar's kind of
the
funny.
characters were like archetypes, and just like they lacked any like. They just felt like archetypes and not people, and they were just like hammering home these ideas. Like I don't know. I was disappointed.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, though.
10 out of 10.
I've never
10 out
heard.
of 10.
I've never heard. This is like you going on a
you-
date. You're
Yeah.
like, this is the greatest date of my life. I've never
It's a
connected
George
with someone more.
Costanza-esque.
I don't
Yeah.
ever want to
Yeah.
see you again.
yeah. But the way she holds her straw really
But
bothers me.
it's almost like not even that. It's just the like,
Yeah.
what an experience. You've changed
No,
my life.
there's no qualifier.
Yeah, I hope you die.
Yeah. You've changed my life for the better. I never
never
want
wanna
to
see
see
you
you.
again.
My brain does not make sense, and this is the most prime example.
like
is Dune Part
Huber,
2.
you're just
It's
full
like-
of these kinds of weird 10 out of 10 disappoint.
it's all the
like this is,
time.
I will
It is
never
all the
ever
time.
on every time I see you, I'll always think of Dark Root Basin. Will always be bird. You just come
my
out with
God.
these bangers where I'm like, oh, Every time I would play, because I've replayed Dark Souls like a dozen times, and every time I hear your words going, Dark Root
Basin.
And just apropos of nothing for me, because I hadn't even played the game at the time, so I wasn't aware of what the hell you were talking about.
That was like the first 3 words Hubert ever said to me.
He came out
He
of the
just
womb.
ran into my office and he did.
Yeah.
He said, Dark Root Basin,
you were
dude.
hyped
And I was
on
just
Dark
like,
Root.
who
Away.
was that?
With a
I was like,
hand
who
coming
the fuck
out.
was that? I'm not even kidding. And he like grabbed my shoulders and I like didn't even know who he
What's
was.
happening?
There's a lot of shoulder
Is this a
grabbing in that
FedEx
office.
guy? Like,
I was like, who the fuck was that?
this is a delivery man?
Oh my god. It's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I saw Love Lies Bleeding and
I need to
I
see it.
fucking loved
I
it.
need to see this so
it
bad.
was so fun, and I mean, I saw it in literally a theater full of lesbians.
Amazing.
So it was immaculate
theater?
vibes. It was at the AMC Century City. I saw it a week early.
Nice.
I saw it on March 8th, which I thought was the opening day, and the director and Katie O'Brien or whatever, one of the leads was
Yeah.
was there.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is she in that?
Yes.
She's something else. But that movie is marvelous, and it's real good, and it's refreshing. They said this about Bottoms as well, which I really loved, that it's kind of just refreshing to see gay characters just like their gayness is kind of just ancillary to
Yeah.
who, it's not really about that. Like
Yeah.
them being gay doesn't really, they're not being persecuted necessarily. I mean, you get like a couple of scenes where they're just like, oh, like slurs or whatever, but like that's not what it's about. It doesn't really matter, and it like kind of shows like the range of human beings that we can be, which is nice because it's just like, yeah, there's some dirtbags too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, I don't know, I loved it. And then there's a thing that happens. I don't want to say too much about it, but like, there's a thing that happens that pushed it into like 5 stars for me. Like
Sick.
the whole movie, I was like really liking it, but I was like, it needs something. And then there's a thing that was just a cherry on top.
pig with a
and it was
gun.
funny because there's a pig with a gun.
dancing
And it
pig with a gun.
talks.
Killed Lincoln.
It goes, Lincoln.
He's like, I killed Lincoln.
Wait, I thought it was Lincoln's pig in the original iteration of this thing.
Yeah,
Lincoln,
it was,
I
but then
love
he killed
you.
him. Yeah. But it was both.
Okay.
Yeah, the duality of pig.
Yeah, pig is always torn. It's like a Smeagol Golem situation. But Lincoln is our friend.
He emancipated us. He also freed the pig in my mind. I don't know. What
Sure.
the fuck?
Is this in the upper echelon of two upper echelon pantheons? One is lesbians, and the other is like a crime
My
thriller
favorite
drama.
pantheon. Okay.
Where does it rank in those pantheons?
In the lesbian pantheon, it's not as high probably as Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Okay.
It's similar to Bound, but like way
Bound, high.
harder core and
Yeah.
like more R-rated.
Got it.
So I'd say higher than Bound, lower than Portrait of a Lady on Fire. As far as like crime movies goes, it's up there. It's in there. Yeah, it's in there. I mean, I don't want to parasite you. I'm
yeah.
excited to hear what you think of it.
Okay.
But there was a part, the cherry on top part for me, it was so funny because a friend of mine who used to work at Game Trailers actually, who I haven't talked to in a while, texted me and he was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one part. And then I was like,
That part was everything.
I like laid out this whole big long thing, and that's when I realized I'm like, oh, that part wasn't for you. That part was for us. Like
awesome.
that part was for, because all the women in the theater were just like, yeah, like it was fucking great.
Sick.
So that's when I realized, like, oh yeah, that movie is, or that moment is very empowering, specifically for not him.
awesome.
Was
Not
he
him
in the
specifically,
theater
but
just
just
like
men in general.
angrily eating his popcorn, feeling
No,
isolated?
no. He liked it. He liked it. He liked it. He's a good guy. But I'm just saying, like, not that part wasn't like the
Interesting.
reasons that resonated perhaps with the audience of lesbians I saw it with
Yeah.
might not be readily apparent to a lot of guys.
I was watching Brokeback Mountain in the theater, like the first week or two when it opened, and there was an older gentleman, probably in his 70s. And when the movie was over and the
Oh,
credits
no.
rolled, he got up
No,
in like a
dude.
crotchety old man, bent over way. And I swear to God, on my life, he said this. He said, I put on my good dungarees for this.
Oh my god!
That phrase has lived on forever. Me and Jessica,
dungarees.
anytime a movie does not live up to our expectations, you're like, I put on my good dungarees for this.
What a burn. What a burn.
But I love that he like dressed
I
up for
am-
Brokeback Mountain with his best
my God, the
dungarees,
cowboy movie.
which are old man pants if I've
Wow.
ever heard them, dungarees. And he was like sitting there watching Brokeback Mountain the whole time, thinking, I'm wearing my good dungarees.
My good ones.
But I put on my good dungarees.
That's like such
I
a
am
Futurama
gonna incorporate that.
Simpsons like moment or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I could see Hans Moleman saying that. Yeah, all right, cool. Usually that segment of the podcast doesn't go for an hour.
Do you guys
but
cut
here we
this?
are.
How does that work?
I don't cut it down. It's just
wow.
going to go up.
My
so
headlines are
whatever.
quick.
Don't say anything crazy.
All
All
right.
right, we're going to get into news. Huber has brought us some news. Hit it.
More
Hubie.
about announcements, really. I guess that's because
Huber has some
that's what interests
announcements.
me in the world of film news is like what's coming out, what's going on, what are we making,
Yeah.
what are we doing. Ready or Not 2 is in the works.
Oh, fuck. I liked that.
Samara Weaving will reprise her role
Oh, my God. That poor girl.
with Adam Rotel in talks to direct.
Hey,
There it is.
dude, Ready or Not is a fun movie.
Here's-
Also, that chick looks just like Elise.
Here's one that gets me so hyped. This is 10 out of 10.
Paddington
Hype.
3.
Austin
Dude, is there a Paddington 3?
Butler, who was amazing in Dune.
Yeah, he was.
Austin Butler will star in Darren Aronofsky's next film, Caught Stealing.
Uh-oh.
The film follows. This is my movie. The film follows a burned out former baseball player who is plunged into a wild fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld of 1990s New York City.
Oh, my God.
Sign me up right now. I'm ready. There's just a lot of sequels coming out for movies that don't. It's just what are we doing
Black
here?
Adam 2.
The Accountant 2 has officially begun filming.
The Ben Affleck?
Yes.
Account?
All right.
The Accountant 2. We're getting
Was there
it.
an Accountant 1?
Good.
Yes.
Ben Affleck vehicle.
Here it comes. Also,
Geezer pleaser.
also,
Is that a
it's a-
geezer pleaser?
yeah.
okay.
Also, it's official. A John Tucker Must Die sequel is in the works.
When did that movie? Didn't that come out like 20 years ago?
2000s, yeah, 2004, 3. Here's another one.
Never saw it.
Face Off 2 is still in the works.
Wow.
From Godzilla Kong's Adam Wingard. I love Adam
Okay.
Wingard.
All right.
The faces may be off, but the scripts are in. That's what they say.
Are Cage and Travolta coming back?
Apparently,
Holy
there's
shit.
talks. Yeah.
Wait, do
so
they have
we'll
to
see what
trade
happens.
faces again?
I don't know. This
I
one,
hope Beetlejuice is good,
Me
by the
too.
way.
Yeah.
That's all. I hope
trailer
it
looked
does.
fun.
The trailer was fine, but I was like,
I mean, I was just happy to see everybody there.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like one of those mock trailers.
Whatever.
I wasn't sure it was a real
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
that's how I
you would
felt.
cut the
Yeah,
fake trailer.
yeah.
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 I wasn't sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
This one's for you, Isla, and me. Fear Street. Oh, coming back.
Oh, I love those movies.
It's
I love
yes,
Fear Street
Fear
with my
Street.
whole heart.
It's coming back. A different director this time. I think there's like different. Yeah, because they nailed that
Oh my
first trilogy.
God.
So there's new people behind the scenes, but it's about Prom Queen.
Okay.
The Prom Queen one. I don't know. I was unfamiliar with Fear Street before.
I've
I was
never
The
read
R.L.
it.
Yeah, it was all
Stein,
about
slightly
Goosebumps.
more adult R.L.
Yeah.
Stein.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm vaguely
Yeah,
aware of that.
yeah.
I was a
Have
Goosebumps
you
kid,
seen
and then
Fear
I
Street?
graduated.
Yeah.
I have not.
Dude, the Fear Street trilogy.
Dude,
I don't know anything
AJ,
about these.
on Netflix,
Excellent.
Fear Street, they're
They're
marvelous.
really good.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
I mean, I don't want to parasite. I'm excited to hear what you think.
Okay.
of it.
There's 3 movies, AJ. They're all like loosely connected, and they all take place in vastly different time periods.
Okay.
They're not loosely connected. They're directly connected.
All right, it's like the
They're directly
Fountain.
Connected. Sure.
So who's
like
the
the Fountain.
director?
Darren Aronofsky.
Oh, no. The new Fear Street. Does it say? So I think I was hearing something in the like a long time ago, but I don't know if it's still her.
Ben
Because I
Affleck.
think it's like a someone who did the VHS movies, like the
Oh.
VHS
Dude, I love
95.
I was gonna say, I
Are
hope
you
it's
serious?
a lady.
Wait, are you
Someone who had a
serious?
segment, like she had a segment in one of the VHS movies. Like,
Fierce. All of those are amazing. Matt Palmer.
oh, okay, so it's not. It's
probably
not
not.
then. It used to be like she
Arnold
was in the
Sons.
pod.
Oh,
like
why'd you
someone
get
in
me so
VHS
Unless they've had some
94.
life changes.
Yeah.
Might not be the same person.
Matt Palmer has directed a couple shorts and one movie called Caliber in 2018.
I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah. So, kind of a newbie. So we'll see. We will see. Almost done here. Bum bum bum. Tom Cruise 3 will still Top Gun 3
Tom
will
Cruise
still
3?
have Tom Cruise as the lead.
We can't handle one of them.
Why don't you know? I feel like
Jerry Bruckheimer has confirmed Top Gun 3 with Tom
we're
Cruise.
at the point where you
I mean,
could.
Top Gun Maverick was actually shockingly good.
I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen most things. I don't see movies anymore.
I've never
Also-
seen Top Gun 1, but I've seen Top Gun Maverick, and I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, one is
Also,
good.
Isla, this one is literally for you.
Uh-huh.
Jerry Bruckheimer confirms. National Treasure 3 may still see the light of
Wow.
day. There is hope. It has a pulse.
Combine it with Face Off.
It has a pulse.
He needs... my pitch, AJ, for National Treasure 3, I've said it 100 times, but I really want him to say, I need to unlean the Tower of Pisa.
That's really funny.
Also,
It'll line up all the charts or whatever.
The Nazca lines in the Tower of Pisa. I do the
it
worst
wasn't
Nicolas
meant to
Cage.
be leaning. That's the solution.
Fresh off his Oscar win, Cillian Murphy is definitely returning for a Peaky Blinders movie. If you have not seen Peaky Blinders, what are you doing? It is a 10 out of 10.
The music video for one of my favorite songs by The
Red
Smile.
Right Hand. Oh, the music's
Well, not that, but Panavision
Yeah.
is an inexplicable tie-in to Peaky Blinders.
sick.
Yeah.
Boondock Saints 3 is coming out
What
for
the fuck?
no reason
Why not?
whatsoever. Just so many sequels and revivals. That's all it is. Also, Aaron Taylor Johnson in talks to be James Bond.
Yeah.
Did you hear about
I
this?
thought he got it.
Did he get it for sure?
I thought he got it, but I'm not sure.
Who was Matt Berry? That's the one I was rooting for. I say throw a curveball and make
Matt
it Danny
Berry?
DeVito.
Yeah. Matt Berry would be hilarious.
I was seeing like a meme
then
go around that
lastly-
Matt Berry should be James Bond. I'm like, why not? Like these are
Yeah,
if you
why
just
not?
made like this like a silly fun James Bond just for fun.
It's like OSS 117 or something.
I don't know what
would
that
be-
means.
You ever see that? That's
I've
really
seen-
funny. It's like a French James Bond parody.
Yeah, an Austin Powers
really-
basically,
it's really
but
fun.
with Danny DeVito as James Bond.
Lastly, The Mandalorian and Grogu fast-tracked for the big screen. That's going to be a movie. Rumors was that there was not going to be a season 4. Those were just rumors. There is going to be a season
Yeah.
4.
I mean, Jon Favreau literally said that he's like, it's never going to stop.
Yeah, 4th season planned with wider Mandoverse expanding. So get ready for like 15 Mandalorian spinoffs.
I like looking at those
Get
helmets.
ready for that.
As long as Grogu's around, I'm happy. That's just want to see him.
I like
throwing up.
Grogu.
Yes.
That's it. That's the news of the month.
Boy, that only took
All right.
50 minutes. That's
not bad.
crazy. We're crazy.
That was great. I loved that.
Fire through.
I'm stopping myself from going into a weird tirade about how much I love how they shot the infrared camera parts of Dune 2. It's very cool.
There's 10 out of 10.
All right. I'll
I
just
was
do it quick.
disappointed, but I was
I'll do it quick. The Black Sun planet where the Harkonnens come from, they shot it in infrared.
So
That's why
sick.
it looks so black and white and crazy. But because they needed to have scenes where they're not getting hit by their weird black sun, where you could see them in color, the way they did that is fucking amazing. They shot with a 3D camera rig
insane.
where one camera had an infrared lens and one camera had a standard lens. They lit the scene twice, once with normal cinematic lights and once with infrared. Apparently it was very hot in there. So that when they walked from shadow, you could see them in color. And then when they came out into the infrared, they're like in black and white, basically. Because the idea is that their
There's some
sun,
insane filmmaking.
their sun only puts out infrared light.
Yeah.
And that's why they're all such like fascist psychos, is because they come from basically a black and white planet. Awesome.
I don't know anything about
Anyway.
Dune, so I feel like that's you guys are talking about current things, so that's why I'm like, I don't know, I'm watching Buffy for the first time. Like, yeah. I just heard
yeah.
about this Grim
No, I mean, we'll talk about
Fandango.
whatever
Have you
you
guys
want.
heard of that game?
The game? Yeah,
Yeah.
you should play it.
Wait, are you guys playing
good.
it now? Is that
No, I've
yeah,
played
I
it.
played
I played it with
most
Sarah.
of it, and then I got stuck, and then I went, I'm gonna do something.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
that'll
Yeah.
with those old
Just
games like
you need
that.
to have a
yeah.
guide.
Was it like a
Yeah,
train
it's so
station?
so
And I
easy
was
to get
like,
stuck.
Yeah.
That game makes no
Yeah,
goddamn
Matthew,
sense.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like literally no sense
I
at all.
enjoyed it.
You have to just use a
Yeah.
guide. Yeah, it's good. All right, real quick, Oscars. I'll run down the winners, I guess. Best Picture was Oppenheimer. Best
Hell
Actor
yeah.
and Leading Role was Cillian Murphy from
Hell
Oppenheimer.
yeah.
Made total sense.
This was one of my favorite Oscars I've seen in so long.
It did all right.
I'm such a fan of the Oscars. It's like sports. I love rooting for my teams, but I just also love celebrating film, and I thought they did a really good job. Except, quickly, the In Memoriam was gutter trash.
Bullshit.
Absolute gutter trash. They should be ashamed. They need to do a redo.
Yeah. Left out some pretty big,
And the
Names.
camera
It
kept
was,
panning
the
away.
wide
You can't
shots.
see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
names.
yeah.
very strange.
I don't want to see people dancing. I want to celebrate the people who have passed away. Like,
I
come
didn't
on.
see this. So wait, you're saying there was like a Busby Berkeley dance number while they were doing that?
Yeah, they're
In
like
front of it, you
dancing
couldn't see the
and like
pictures.
playing music.
Yeah, it was,
Oh,
it
that
was weird.
seems
I was
so
like,
odd.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
What a funny
It
choice.
was odd. It was
And they
terrible.
left out who was it that they like completely left
Lance
out?
Reddick.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
Not even in that they had like a thing at the end that was like a bunch of names on one card. And they didn't mention Lance
Yeah,
Reddick.
they're like scan a QR code to find out more people who have passed away. And that
Wait,
was
is that
really
a real thing,
tasteless.
too?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, because I could totally see that.
Okay, I thought
There are
that was,
QR gravestones
Oh my
now,
God.
so who knows?
Are there really?
Yeah, that's
Really?
Wow.
That seems
Yeah.
short-sighted.
If you're seeing this, I'm probably dead, considering it's my grave.
dude.
Yeah,
Oh, I suppose you could see a video of that. Oh, that's
pretty
oh,
weird.
that's-
It goes right to
Anyway.
their Etsy or their
kind
I
LinkedIn.
agree. It was
It goes to their LinkedIn.
God, that's bleak.
Yeah.
Oh, this is making me
Yeah,
sad.
sorry.
it needed
sorry.
a redo. It needed a redo.
It needs a redo. It needs a redo. Run it back.
Emma Stone won Best Actress for
I-
leading role, which
I-
a lot of people. I loved her in
I
that.
love it.
I thought she was incredible. A lot of
Yeah.
people were saying Lily Gladstone.
I wanted Lily Gladstone so bad. I loved Poor Things. So remember
Poor Things
last time-
incredible.
Last time I was on here, I was like, "Oh, I'm a little nervous. I don't really like his movies. I don't like when shit's all weird and blah blah blah."
Oh,
Dude,
you saw it finally.
Yeah, that
Oh,
movie is
Poor Things
incredible.
rips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Director was Nolan. Supporting actor RDJ for Oppenheimer. Best supporting actress was Devine for The Holdovers, which I really thought was a good pick. She was really, really good in that. Adapted screenplay was American Fiction. Original screenplay was Anatomy of a Fall, which I still need to see.
Good one.
Best animated was Boy and the Heron. Best animated short is War is
F
Over.
that category too. Where the hell is
Which?
Turtles on there?
Oh, dude, Turtles
It
should
is
have been on there,
unbelievable,
dude.
dude. No,
I fucking love
it is.
Turtles.
It is BS.
Was that last year?
Yeah. Huh. Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem, dude. International feature went to Zone of Interest. Loved his
Love
speech.
Zone of Interest.
Best documentary was 20 Days in Mariupol.
Yes, I watched that
which-
with my parents. It is hard watch.
We've got a thing about that coming up in just a second from Jason Wojnar. Best documentary short last repair shot. Best original score Oppenheimer. Best original song What Was I Made For from Barbie by Billie Eyelashes. Sound was Zone of Interest. Best production design Poor Things. Live action short Wonderful Life of Henry Sugar, which I was pretty surprised by. Best cinematography Oppenheimer. Best makeup and hairstyle Poor Things. I thought Poor Things might take cinematography. I was a little surprised by that, but they did amazing stuff in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Costume design Poor Things. Best visual effects Godzilla -1. I was very pleased by that.
Yeah,
Godzilla
that's-
-1 fucking rules.
That's a wake-up call to Hollywood VFX
Fucking-
studios,
yeah,
straight
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
And I know we
Give them
can't.
the time.
Yeah, give them the time. Can't blame the studios 100%, but just to Hollywood in general, like, yo.
Yeah. And best editing was Oppenheimer. Zach Wojnar, patreon.com/Easy Allies if you want to get in on the conversation. Not Easy Allies, patreon.com/Reaction Shots if you want to get in on the conversation. But check out Easy Allies too. And thanks to Easy Allies for letting us use the studio today.
Yes.
You guys not affiliated? Is that?
It's
We spun off just because Easy Allies was we were trying to make it more specific, but Huber and I love Reaction Shots and wanted to keep doing it, but it didn't really fit under the making Easy Allies more specific kind of drive. So then we asked Matt here and we spun it off.
All right.
I know its own thing.
Has anybody lost more Oscars than Martin Scorsese movies? It's just crazy that he got none again this time, and it's like his like the score. It's just weird.
What's
like,
crazy is they gave it to him for not his best movie, in my
we're not
opinion.
going down this road. Departed is a 11 out of 10. We are not doing
Rewatch
this.
it, I guess.
We are not having
need
this
to rewatch
discussion
it.
tonight. I am not prepared. But Killers
It's
of
been
the
a
Flower
long
Moon.
day. It's been a long
Killers
day.
of the Flower Moon is such a 10, but it's like, what do you know, if something has to win, others have to lose. So it's like, what do you
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
But it is That was the only note I had at the end where I was like, oh, Scorsese again comes up with 0. It's like,
Big
wow.
goose egg for the Scorsese.
It reminds me of Spider-Man 2, the game, like not winning anything at the Game Awards. And it's like, you have these just like, are they known quantities? Do they get just looked over because they're like from some of the best
It's
ever?
not surprising.
It's not
Dependable.
surprising.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think it's an aggregate win usually. It's like, you know what? This might be your last one. Or you've done good things in the past, and so that's my take on the Oscars at least, is it's like,
Usually,
I mean, with
definitely
Miyazaki, it's like, listen, Miyazaki, you can't do any better than you've done. Here you go. Whether it's his best or not doesn't matter. It's like you are awesome and we love you. I feel like that can come into play sometimes. At least that's my takeaway for like certain ones where you're like, why did this one is certainly not their best, but you love their body of work. I think that plays into it often. That's how I forgive certain things.
And Scorsese's already got one, so it's like, all right.
You've had one.
Obviously, we're giving it to Nolan here, 100%.
Emma Stone already has one. So
that was the surprising one. Was like,
but I mean, she did an amazing job.
Amazing job.
I don't think I've seen a single movie. I saw Spider-Verse. I think that was it, and I was like, perfect.
You're on the supply side.
Yeah.
What does
Shut up.
that mean?
You're giving us all the movies and shows.
Yeah, you're in the stuff.
I'm fatigued.
We'll
All
get
I
to
do is
you.
make, and so I'm tired by.
All I do is
give and give. So I don't want to watch movies when I go home. I watch Buffy and I read literature.
Yes.
Matthew, were there any categories where you were like, shouldn't have done that?
I mean, you know
Or were
my
you
feelings
pleased
about
overall?
Oppenheimer, but I don't want to stomp on the joy.
Fair.
I don't want to
Fair
stomp
enough.
on the
They're not celebrating him.
Fair enough.
I feel.
He is so depressed in that movie. He does not like what he's done.
He's the villain.
He hates
In my
himself.
opinion.
Yeah.
But I did like how I like Jonathan Glazer. I liked how he came out after Zone of Interest
I love
and his
Jonathan
speech.
Glazer.
I feel like
Fuck,
it's
dude.
the controversy afterwards. There was like this huge letter that like
They wrote a letter, yeah.
that a bunch of people signed on afterwards and were mad at him. But I love it when
missed
people
all this.
speak out
Which is interesting
against
because of
war.
like if you
So,
listen,
yeah.
if you listen to his speech, you know,
It's Dragon's Dogma 2, dude.
he was like, I don't know. I thought his speech was pretty measured.
I agree. And like
Uh,
his movie, was a testament to the
Right.
victims of something horrible, and he spent a lot of work paying, I think, like a tribute to the people who went through something horrible. So it's clear where his heart is at, I think. So
Yeah, I feel like
100.
he couldn't have made that movie and then
Yeah.
not said
Yeah.
something.
So
Totally.
I thought that was a
Context is
I thought
key.
that was a good moment. And I like that.
Yeah.
And then Miyazaki always, like obviously, like I got some Miyazaki stuff around me, so that was great to see him win
Yeah.
something else. That stuff was
Totally.
great. And Poor Things surprised me that it won so much. Not because it's not good.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was going to be Poor Things moment. So that was a fun.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Oppenheimer versus Killers of the Flower Moon the whole way.
So
Poor Things got that.
hopefully more people see such a weird ass funny movie.
Oh, that bummed me out. Actually, no disrespect to Billie Eilish, but I really wanted the Killers of the Flower Moon song to win. It was from Robbie Robertson of the band. He passed away recently too, and he has Native American heritage.
Oh, okay.
And it was like the drum circle, like ritual dance song. It was
Yeah.
epic in the movie, epic at the Oscars. I wanted that one to win.
Yeah, that's true. That performance was that was cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just read. We got a few statements about the Oscars from our patrons, but I'm gonna read Jason Wojnar's, and then we're gonna get into X-Men just because
X-Men.
AJ's
I
gonna
don't
fall
think it's late.
asleep.
AJ's gonna fall over.
AJ
asleep
hasn't
here,
eaten
so
dinner.
yeah,
I didn't
thanks.
realize this was
AJ, goddamn.
I didn't know.
X-Men, baby.
I'm so busy today. I was like, all right, well,
Damn it, I
How we're not gonna talk about movies for an hour. That's perfectly fine.
I'm trying my best, AJ.
You're
all
always
right.
doing your best.
Jason Wojnar. Thanks, AJ.
She is.
Thanks.
Isla's never phoned it in, like for real. No, I'm not
That's
even
not
kidding.
true.
No, it's true.
That's not
When you're phoning it in, you're still.
I've seen some of your edits,
You
Isla.
can't just like. Even when Isla says, I'm just going to shit
I
it
love
out,
maybe
there's
12
still
years ago.
effort
I've
there.
seen some of those gameplays.
Listen, I can't help that me shitting it out is still better than most people.
Exactly.
Listen, we need this edit by the end of the
It's
day.
true,
It's like,
though.
cool, I'll do it at 5:30. But that's what we were all doing. So it was like,
Mr. Pandaria, dude, I got that full review done in like 40 minutes or like 25 minutes.
the way
It was
to go.
crazy. Anyway, Jason Wojnar, about the Oscars. It's great that 20 Days in Maripol won, giving the movie a higher profile that will hopefully inspire more people to watch it. I watched it sometime last year at a screening in New York with director, gonna butcher this, Myslyav Charnov. It's Mstyslav. I don't know. It was also the day I met Elisa Zaruval, a Ukrainian born in Kharkiv to a Ukrainian mother and Nigerian father who founded. Oh boy,
Jason just did this to mess with you. I feel like no pronunciation guide.
Yeah, Tojazamist, a project dedicated to highlighting diversity in Ukraine. We were sitting next to each other, and we pointed out how weird it was that some people had beer, popcorn, and other snacks, wondering if they understood what they were about to watch. I also met the other photographer, Yevgeny Maloletka, at a past photo exhibition of the photos he took while in Maripol. It's difficult to even put into words what it was like watching that movie, given my personal experience. I think everyone who needs to watch this movie to better understand the depths of Russia's depravity. Just remember that every second of it is true, and it continues to this day, wherever the front is, in parts of Ukraine under Russian occupation, and every time that a missile is launched toward the Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, and other towns and cities in Ukraine. I'm sorry, Jason. I am not great at pronouncing things in general, outside of English. But yeah, I was thrilled when that went one.
I watched it with my parents. It is a really freaking good documentary. It's so intense. Just anything to do with war is like, people should watch it. It actually bummed me out because right after it won on social media, because I was like live tweeting, watching, like seeing what everyone was saying, no one said a single solitary word about it. And then Godzilla won visual effects. And my entire feed was like 1,000 people being like, Godzilla, 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 like one VFX. And it was like, fuck.
Well, one's a big dinosaur and one's a really hard to watch. Sounds like, I don't know anything about this, but
it's like, it just like, I don't know. I was thinking a lot about that moment, and it's not like, we want to be entertained. We want to watch movies and like for fun, but also just like, I was just thinking about social media and like what people care about and like what people pay attention to. And it was like, this is like a big deal, this is an important movie about an important thing going on. Yeah. And it just seemed like nobody even, like people were just like zoning out when that
Do you think
won.
they know that Godzilla is also about war?
At least, yeah.
It's true. Good point. Good point. Yeah.
It's a great point.
He's an A-bomb gang.
It's a great point. That meme I sent you.
Oh, yeah. It's fun because in Japanese Godzilla movies, he's a metaphor for the terrors of atomic bombs.
Yeah.
And then in American Godzilla movies, they recharge him with atomic bombs.
Yeah.
It's just like, cool.
Like Godzilla Kong is just like, how can we just like, let's have some action.
I'm going to see the shit out of it. I'm going to love it.
Too.
But like, whatever, they're very different. All right. Let's get into X-Man.
Forgot why I was
AJ,
here.
wake up.
Glendale.
Step out of it.
Glendale.
Glendale.
AJ, you are playing Gambit in X-Men 97. This is so awesome. But I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Not about X-Men 97, but about Gambit in general. I grew up, X-Men was like the first comic book anything as a child that I was obsessed with, like so many of us.
Yeah.
Gambit is absolutely one of the most popular X-Men characters. Why has Gambit been given the short Shrift?
Because
feels like- yeah, it
Why
feels
is
like
he
he's
AJ
always
voices him
underutilized.
now.
Yeah.
Like we have one weird Taylor Kitsch live action Gambit in X-Men Origin
For like 3 minutes.
like where in the F is the Gambit movie? Where is Gambit in the live action? What is
I
going
think
on
I
with
actually have an
Gambit?
answer for this because it's something I think about
I would
too.
love it.
So similar
Yeah.
to Hook, the movie Hook that I love, the people who were affected by Gambit are also that same generation where the thing that we loved about that we were so young when we were exposed to like Gambit because he was pretty new for the series. I was listening to a thing with the Lewalds who made the original show.
90s, right?
But they're just like, we'll try out this Gambit guy. We'll throw him in the show just because he's sort of like, you know, he's new and we don't really know who he is, so they got to develop his personality. So for us, we grew up loving him. And I feel like a lot of the older fans or friends that I know that are like 10 years older are like, I don't like this Gambit guy. He's got pink and he's got blue. Like, I feel like there's this weird feeling about it that the older generation has. And for years, they're the ones that have been making the movies and they're the ones that have been kind of, and now with the whole X-Men team, which is what's so cool, they're all our age. They're all fans like us.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to talk to the
Yeah.
writers and the directors and stuff. It's just like, yeah, we all love these characters like Jubilee and Gambit that were very 90s. And Bishop
Yeah.
too, and Cable and all those guys.
Jubilee just disappeared.
Well, yeah, because it's like we see something of ourselves, or we see that '90s texture and that life in them that I think the older generation doesn't necessarily see. Again, the same thing with the movie Hook, where we were kids and we were like, "Oh my God, this speaks to me," and whereas all the critics were like, you know, but it affected us because it, you know, and I think that's the same thing with Gambit, where we. Yeah,
I love that.
We were kids, and now we're making stuff, and we're
Get
gonna bring
lost,
Gambit
boomers.
and Jubilee, and you know,
Channing Tatum will be in Deadpool 3 as Gambit.
is that gonna
Mark
be?
my
That'd be
words.
crazy. I know. Those rumors.
Mark 'em,
I
dude.
always So my ideal casting, but it requires some time travel. Probably is Sawyer in Lost. I think would have made a
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Gambit!
perfect Gambit.
Josh Holloway, dude! Yes!
Would have been a
Brilliant.
perfect
And that's
Gambit.
kind of it. That's where I stopped.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he would have been.
He
brilliant.
was.
That
he
is
was.
perfect.
He played Gambit.
He
in
basically
Lost.
was
He
Gambit.
was.
Yeah.
Basically, it was
Dude.
Gambit in Lost.
Damn
I
it,
know.
that's so
He even had
good.
energy powers in season
Dude, he can
4.
still do it. He was in Ghost Protocol for like 5 minutes.
Was
Mission
he?
Impossible.
I feel like Lost happened
He's
so
still
much
around,
longer
isn't
than
he?
we realize. He'd
Yeah.
have to be like, how old is he now? Like 60? I don't know. You know, I don't know. 7,000 years old. But anyway, that was.
Well, every cast member of Lost is immortal now because of the powers of the
That's
island.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. I like that answer.
My dream casting for Gambit is AJ LoCascio.
Me too.
Your dreams have
me
come
too.
true.
So
Charging up
Charging Wolverine's
Oh, so
claws,
cool.
dude.
When I saw that, I freaked out.
I was live. I was basically live tweeting watching the premiere 2 episodes of 97
Yes.
to AJ. I was just like texting him my reactions to everything that was
At
happening.
some point, I was like, okay, I'm getting in the shower now. Don't. Like, if I
Yeah.
don't respond, it's because I'm in the shower, because I was trying to react back to, because it was a
Right,
weird time, too. It was like 1 a.m. or like
I was watching.
midnight. I was,
I was like,
yeah, it was something like that. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
okay, she's like watching this now, like a day or 2 later. So it was this funny influx
Yeah, it was
of,
like a
oops,
couple of
yeah.
days after.
But, yeah.
I loved it. I love that it feels like X-Men. It feels like we didn't skip a beat, except for it feels like there's more freedom now to just fucking say the subtext a little
Yeah.
louder for the people in the back, which I know has pissed off some people, but like, I don't know. That's
what
what
X-Men's
X-Men has
about.
always been about,
Yeah.
Charles.
Yeah.
Like,
Like literally episode 3 of the original show is like Beast in court and people being like, you mutant freaks.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're you're different than us. You're freaks. Like,
Yeah.
that's what X-Men
Yeah,
is.
you shouldn't be able to get married or adopt kids
Yeah.
and see your wife in the hospital. Yeah,
It's funny going back
That's what
and
X-Men's
watching
about,
the
guys.
original series, because I watched even before I knew I was doing this, I was rewatching it. It's all there. I mean, it's not as
yeah.
overt as it feels in the show now, I think, where it's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy how hardcore
it'd
it
be
is.
interesting to go back and watch.
Yeah,
it
because
again,
it's as adult as you think it is now in the current show. It's still there, I
Okay.
think, at least.
Oh wow! All right. I mean, I remember loving it as a kid, and like I remember feeling pretty seen
Exactly.
in the X-Men.
Yeah, same.
Those themes. Oh,
and,
sorry.
like-
Please go. Yeah.
No, go.
Those
go.
themes didn't hit me on a super conscious political level as a kid.
Of course,
because, like,
you don't
I
have
didn't
a
have that.
political-
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't have that developed yet
Right.
at that
Yeah.
point. But it had to have shaped my outlook in terms of like
Yeah.
in terms of
dude,
like
well
empathy.
said.
X-Men saved
And
us.
in terms of like I mean, obviously, like in my relationship to power and society, I'm a little bit privileged, and I'm not as much of an outcast as other people. But you know, everyone goes through hard times, so you have a little bit of a relationship to like,
I don't
man,
know,
why
you're
are
pretty
why are people
weird.
why are people bullying me, or why
Yeah.
am I getting picked on in this situation? So you kind of like relate on that innate level, and then as I get older,
It's because you got a weird frog.
yeah,
tongue.
exactly.
You can
I
change
told
the
you
channel
not to
with your
talk about that
mind.
on the
Yeah.
podcast. But, yeah.
I'm sorry,
And then
sorry,
you get a
sorry.
little bit older and you realize like, oh wow, this is pretty damn political. And rewatching some of the stuff now, it's like this has a very clear messaging about how
Yeah.
people are treated and how they shouldn't be treated. Yeah,
Even-
it's incredible. Yeah.
I mean, even the X-Men movies, like the original movie, it has to do with like senators and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
courtrooms. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's X-Men 3, but like, maybe it's 2. No, it's 3, I think, where Angel
3.
is like sawing his own
That's 3.
wings off.
The Last Stand.
And like, yeah, Last Stand. And like, which like wasn't my favorite,
Foster.
obviously, but like, that is a gay kid, you know, trying to hide it and doing everything he can, you know, or a trans kid or whatever, you know, and it's just like, I loved that scene because I
Yeah.
was just like, your dad is going to kill you instead of letting you be this beautiful fucking angel.
Angel hype.
Like, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
I think that's also what you see in it. There obviously that's the way it that's what it's portraying, but you can also see in it whatever your insecurity is.
Right, it's not exclusively, it's not exclusively gay people or,
Because it speaks to you as a
I
kid
think
at that young age before you even realize anything about yourself, really, where you're just like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I like nerdy stuff and no one else does, and like I can't tell my dad that I like this
Right.
stuff. Like whatever it is throughout your life, you incrementally
or being like having a disability
totally.
or having like any
Other,
kind of like
yeah.
outsider can find themselves in the X-Men. I think that's why it's so powerful.
And you
yeah,
and
for
you
sure.
know, you're just saying like as a kid you're always looking for patterns and how to sort yourself out in the world, and sort of the X-Men's relationship to power and senators and all that stuff. You see that as, oh, those are my teachers, or that's that one math teacher that hates me, or whatever it is. Like you create these sort of connections and patterns, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be much deeper than that. But then as you get older and you realize it's like, oh, this is also talking about the world at large.
Right.
Is it hits different, you know, when you're in your 30s and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is So there's it's crazy to me to have watched the original series during certain current events and be like, this could have been written
Yeah.
today and it feels so relevant, and it's
Right.
kind of scary.
Because, I mean, like, they're fighting senators and, like, going to courtrooms and stuff. And it's just like, this was the 90s and a
Yeah.
kid's show.
Yeah.
Like, metal.
Metal,
I want to
yes.
know what everybody's favorite X-Man was when they were a kid. Do you
do.
remember? What was yours? Wolverine? Yeah.
Wolverine.
I mean, everybody's was Wolverine.
I
but,
was
like,
Gambit. Gambit was my
Yeah.
favorite.
And-
So
Gambit?
Yeah.
And Gambit.
Perfect.
And
Gambit
Gambit.
was.
Yeah, I loved Gambit.
Obsessed.
I mean, I loved them all.
I
but,
did. I had a Wolverine phase. I think when I hit like 12 or 13, and the movies had just come out, you know, and I was like,
Yeah.
that Wolverine guy's pretty cool. But it was always Gambit
Yeah.
from childhood on.
Yeah, Gambit's
I really-
sick. What
Well,
about you, man?
I feel really bad for blanking on names, but I have this thing where I blank on names. I apologize, but like,
Describe them. The blue
Nightcrawler
one.
is the one where they like go through walls, right?
Nightcrawler can teleport.
Kitty
Kitty Pryde?
Pryde.
Kitty Pryde can go through
But
walls.
I think it's Nightcrawler because I had
Yeah.
the Sega Genesis.
Nightcrawler could teleport.
game.
Yes.
And
He's
the
the
Sega
one.
Genesis
That's
game let you,
Nightcrawler,
like,
dude. I've still
select
got
between
it.
the different characters. And I wasn't
Yes.
familiar with
Wolverine,
Nightcrawler from the
Gambit.
comics, and I had a few of the comics, and Nightcrawler didn't really appear that often, except like, oh, what's that in the background? But like the game, which you select was Nightcrawler, and like that was essential to like just kind of like zoom through really tough areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember this extremely tough part of the game where like you get to this computer thing and
Yes, reset the
Professor
computer.
reset the computer, so you know about this.
Oh, of course, because it drove me insane as a
It
kid.
is.
Right?
Me too. I
Yeah.
never beat the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
I never beat it.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I got that
There's this
far.
part where it tells you like, oh, you're gonna have to reset the computer yourself. It's the only thing to like get past this.
Oh my god, you're giving me the
yeah,
most
and I think
insane
there may even be like a
flashbacks.
countdown or something like that. There's
Yeah.
nothing to do.
Dude.
It's like all these stacks of computers. You can't figure it out. I was like Wolverine trying to slash his computers. The
I
only thing you
see
can
it.
do is hit the reset button, the physical reset button on your Sega Genesis itself. And like I finally figured it out from like I think like Rage.
That's
It's insane.
amazing.
Wait, it had a
Yeah.
Kojima
Yeah, yeah,
thing?
yeah.
That's fucking psycho.
I never even knew
level
it.
shit.
I never knew
Did
it.
you-
I never beat the
Holy
game.
You gotta
so
do this
third wall
now.
breaking.
I never
It's
got past
so
that.
third wall breaking. Yeah.
I have my physical copy at my house. I know exactly where it is.
Reset
when
the
it
computer, dude.
actually happens, I didn't figure it out because like, aha, I'm a genius. This is what I must do.
No, you had to look it
Kojima
up.
ripped
You were
off
just like,
X-Men.
out of
you were just like,
anger.
I quit.
like months out
Yeah.
of the game, like just like, I'm gonna start from the beginning, and then it happened, and I was like, reset it.
Wow, so you
like,
figured it out organically.
I- Programmed
I
for
didn't
that.
figure it out. It just like happened because I like was
That's
angry.
amazing.
And just, like,
That is
I'm gonna
nuts.
Screw this game, and then it happened.
Dude, you're blowing my mind. I never even knew
Dude.
that. I've had the game since I was a kid.
That's one of the
That's
most
crazy.
hardcore things you can do to like a kid. You know, is be like, maybe
Yeah.
the game is in your world now, and maybe you have to do something like because I
Exactly.
just jumping around. You're
Yeah.
stuck in a square basically of the screen, and you're just like
Yep.
moving. You're shooting things and hitting stuff, and it's yeah, that blew my mind when I finally learned it because me and my brother would talk about it all. We're like, how do we get past this? And then eventually, I think it was like early internet. We looked it up and we're like, reset the computer. Like we. You know, it was such a revelation.
Oh,
It felt
nuts.
magical though. It felt like the game was bleeding
That's
into the real world.
Kojima just ripped that off.
Kojima, dude,
it's
what a
brilliant.
hack.
It's
So,
so
sorry,
brilliant.
it took us on a like sidetrack, but like Nightcrawler.
No,
was-
it's X-Men
No,
related.
This is great.
So many
We're
good
finally
X-Men.
on
Yeah,
topic.
yeah, exactly.
An hour and a half
X-Men
into
video
this goddamn
games,
podcast.
X-Men arcade game, obviously
Oh
one of the
my
most
God. God
legendary
tier,
arcade
God tier.
games, especially the 6-person widescreen cabinet, the holy grail that is so rare
Yeah.
to find.
Oh yeah,
So rare.
they have it at 82 sometimes.
Also, X-Men Origins Wolverine is a terrible movie,
Great
but an
game. I
incredible
played
movie.
it.
game
I
is
loved
pretty
it.
sick.
It's
That
a
game
great
is pretty
game.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like God of War.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you made me play that on Huber's Prison of Love. It was a good game.
X-Men versus Street Fighter also. The
Yes.
Capcom one.
Oh.
It's like before,
Yeah.
I think before or around Marvel versus Capcom time. Yeah.
That's another reason I'm obsessed with Wolverine as a kid because of Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah,
Going at
so
Yeah.
My favorite was always Rogue and obviously Wolverine.
Beast is one that I really love.
Beast was
Beast,
great.
dude,
I love
love
Beast. I mean,
Beast.
you
There's
you
so
can't
many.
go. I remember not liking Jubilee when she was introduced.
I like
Same.
Jubilee.
And now she's like
don't
my
like
favorite.
no, but now
maybe.
no, but now I
Yeah.
like love. No, because she was too close to home. I think. Like, I was like, well,
See,
this
it's the
chick's
exact-
annoying,
The
and I'm like,
exact opposite. I
and
was
I'm like,
like,
oh, she's me.
yeah, I was just a punk little teenager kid, so I was like, stop crying about it. Get to the action. Like, shoot some fireworks
Yeah,
at
yeah,
people. Who cares? Like, forget
Night of
your
the Sentinels,
parents.
kill Morph
It's
again.
funny. My friend who
Now she's literally
Yeah.
my favorite because I went through the.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with the
She's the
original.
heart.
I'm almost done with the original. I was rewatching it before '97. And going through it, it's like, dude,
Jubilee's
Jubilee is
cool.
legitimately the best
Jubilee's
written character in
right.
this
When
whole
she's
show.
kind of the audience
She's
analog
Robin.
a little
You
bit,
know, you're either down with Robin
Yeah,
or you're not. You know, and it's as a kid, I loved Robin, but it's funny. I didn't like Jubilee growing up, and it kind of like as time went on, I found myself more and more kind of being like, Jubilee's okay. And it was always sort of a debate with my buddy
Gross.
Brendan Hay, who directed the Gremlins show. I like one day like texted him. I was just like, hey man, like I gotta tell you, I kind of really love Jubilee now. This is before the show. Where I was just like, I kind of love Jubilee. I felt like it was because he was always like, Jubilee's my favorite. I love Jubilee. Like Jubilee and Beast were his. And I was like, no, Gambit all the way. And he's like, no, I don't like Gambit. And there was this debate we had for years. And
You got a little
yeah.
sparkle emotion. Yeah.
Do you want to know my favorite thing? that none of us said Cyclops.
Oh, the Brandon Joneses of the world.
Yes.
The Brandon Joneses of the world.
Wait, is Brandon Jones? Brandon Jones is a Cyclops.
His favorite by far. Jones is
Because he is
obsessed.
Cyclops.
Because he sees a bit of Cyclops in
Yes,
himself.
I think
Yep.
the new portrayal,
100%.
like the way Ray Chase does it in the new show, is like exactly right. It's exactly how Cyclops should
Oh,
be,
yeah.
where he's
Oh, yeah.
he's cranky, but he's also he's a Boy Scout, and there's this combination of like he's the leader, but he's also got a little more texture than I feel like he is often portrayed in the comics,
Right.
or he's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, for sure. I enjoyed his portrayal in the episodes so far. Like, yeah, because he's like, I mean, when Wolverine in the plane calls
Yeah.
him Dad, you're just like, God, Dad, like,
Buzzing in my ear,
fuck off or whatever.
It's
Yeah, you quit buzzing in my ear,
So
Dad.
bad.
Yeah, some great Wolverine sass. It feels like we picked up right where we left off with those two. Also,
So
just like
sick.
the like. I mean, obviously, like
I go
Cyclops
where I
and
wanna
Jean
go.
are- Yeah, obviously, Cyclops and Jean are like obviously a thing, but just like Wolverine, like just hating
It's
Cyclops.
great. The
It
moment
feels
where
so right.
he's or Cyclops like, no, Wolverine, you have to do this, and then Jean is like, please, Logan, like where they're on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Because like
The Logan's like, fine.
I got to see this in a theater with an audience, like the first 3 episodes, and
Oh my
all those
God.
moments were so
Awesome.
insane to see people reacting and cheering and like laughing because it all lands.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to see it alone now. I'm like, oh no, I can't,
I
like
miss the cheering.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was very surreal, but also like there's one part where Jean is like in a mirror and she's like, this one time when I was in the dark side of the blue moon, and
Yeah.
it killed the audience, and I was like, good, they get it, they get that this is supposed to be like a telenova, like kind of, it's a joke, it's a joke, but it's serious to them. It's feel very very lucky. I have nothing to do with the writing. I just say the words.
I'm looking back at my live tweeting at
Oh my
AJ
God.
when I was watching.
So funny.
I was like, "Lol, Morph is such a little bitch," and you were like, "I love them."
I love
And you were like-
Morph.
and I'm like, "Morph is so
Yeah.
good. Like,
Love him.
they have this like crazy energy, like turning into dead people, turning into Jean, and just like being so
It's
catty.
chaotic.
Oh my
I
God,
love it.
it's
I love
marvelous. It's
yeah.
marvelous.
Pure chaos.
It's so good.
All right, so I asked our patrons at patreon.com/reaction shots. $3 gets you everything. Gets you the Discord, gets you in on these conversations. A few questions. Obviously, we're running long, and one of our co-hosts is in Florida, and the other one hasn't eaten because he doesn't know how to take care of his body because he's a
I've been
man
going all
child.
day.
I feel like your mom. Me and Elise always are just like, "Did AJ eat today?"
She did
And
give
it's
me
like,
orange
"No."
slices because I went to work out today, and she's like, "Eat some orange
my
slices,"
She's like,
and then she was.
You're gonna
I
get
know.
scurvy.
And then she was trying to give me a potato as I was leaving, and I was like, "You're like the grandma in The Wedding Singer who just puts meatballs in his hand." Because every time I leave, she's like, "Look, we have too many of these potatoes," and I'm like, "Stop it! I don't want your potatoes."
She does.
It's
she
the,
does
the
do
funny
that.
thing is she
does
always
do
gets
that.
me with something because I'm like, I don't want the joke is I always say I don't want your trash, but then there's always something where I go, this is really good, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a
Yeah,
delightful
it's-
host.
It's very funny. Anyway, what were you were gonna ask or say
all right.
something?
First, I said
Patrons, $3 a month
to
gets you.
patrons. Yeah,
Gets you everything.
Gets you everything. I asked
of
them. I asked them, "What's your favorite
access.
X-Men movie?" And
Days of
they-
Future
they got some good ones.
Past.
That's yours,
Yep. 100%.
not Logan.
Oh fuck. Well, Logan is.
I based it on how often do you watch
What,
it?
what my mind went. My mind
Yeah.
went. My mind went to like X-Men.
Not
Everyone.
X2?
It Logan, Days of Future Past, X2,
Ooh.
top 3. Bum, bum, bum.
I mean,
Unplug
that's
my
a good.
headphones.
Yeah.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry, my headphones were out.
Logan is like one of the best
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, Logan is very good. All right, yeah.
I'm
Jesse,
so excited for him to come back in Deadpool, dude. Oh my god! Hugh
Does
Jackman's
Deadpool
back.
count as
The
an X-Men
Deadpool
movie?
3 trailer was
Ah!
so good. Oh,
Yeah,
sure. Why
kinda,
not?
yeah,
Everything.
I think so,
the
right?
rule here at Reaction Shots is everything
Everything
counts.
Goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, do I have to answer that? I love X-Men 1 a lot, and then probably X-Men 1,
don't
2,
have to
and then
answer
Days of
that.
Future Past would probably be. Although
Oh,
Logan,
yeah.
although I watched Logan once and I was like, that was perfect. I don't have the emotional capacity
Yeah.
to keep watching it.
I don't think I've ever watched it again, but
I've
I
seen
loved
it 3 times, and it's been amazing each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Logan's incredible. Very heavy movie. Jesse Blue says, my favorite mutant from the movies is Wolverine because, come on, Hugh Jackman is super hot.
Hugh Jackman.
Jesse Blue sounds familiar. I
my
feel like I
favorite
know
movie-
them on Twitter. Just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Legend.
Oh, yeah. Ledge. My favorite movie is actually Days of Future Past because I love timey-wimey stuff. Who would not have thought growing up less than 2 miles from a nuclear power plant would actually not contribute to mutant powers?
Shout out
I'm
to
so sorry.
The reason I rank Days of Future Past so high still to this day is because
it's good?
it's good, but because the stakes
Yeah.
are so high
Hell yeah.
and so real in that movie. Superhero movies try their hardest and their damnedest to have meaningful stakes, and it's so rare that they ever do. Days of Future Past, the entire movie, it feels like life or death. Like obviously the opening is insane.
Yeah.
But just that whole movie, it feels like there's real consequences and like things can turn out badly.
Eric Sayer says, well, I do like Logan, and X2 is one of the best movies, or one of the movies that set the standard for superhero movies. My favorite is First Class for the way it portrays the
Nice.
Charles Eric
Yeah.
dynamic. Both the characters are given so much depth that it's unfortunately never further explored in its sequels.
Yeah.
I do actually quite like. I was pretty skeptical when they cast, I mean, I love those actors, but I was just like, do we need to be doing this like past stuff? Like I'm never really a big fan of.
They're
prequels
really
in
good
general.
together, though. They work so well. Yeah.
But I
They
love them.
are.
yeah, they're very
great.
charming.
We don't want your future!
I hurt myself yelling.
X-Men Apocalypse sucks!
I mean, yeah.
I don't know what I can or can't
ain't
comment
great.
on. I won't say.
I know. I was gonna say. I'm like, maybe let's pump the brakes on harsh negativity. But
Hey.
yeah, Apocalypse is trash.
Dude, X-Men movies, they're incredible. I'm allowed to say one of them is a steaming pile. I'm allowed to say
And
that.
Dark Phoenix wasn't great.
I thought it was okay, better than
I didn't
Apocalypse.
hate it. Better
I
than
didn't see
Apocalypse.
the.
Because then it makes my praise even more real. Because seriously, Days of Future Past, X-Men 1, 2, Logan, even the Wolverine, like these movies
Wolverine's
are
kind of underrated.
incredible. It
I think,
is,
I
dude.
think that's the only one
It's-
I haven't
they're
seen.
They're
so
Is that the
good.
only
yeah,
reason in
it's,
Japan?
It's kind
Yeah.
of
That's
great.
the only X-Men movie I haven't
There's a little
seen.
bit of a
Dude,
weird
it's
bit at
sick.
the very end, but other than that, I think as far as like characters and it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like Ace Ventura, Pet
Exactly like that.
Oh God. Yeah.
What?
A bit weird at the
That
end.
one's terrible
Oh, yes,
at the
I was-
end. It's like, what happened
very,
to this
very,
movie?
very, very bad at the end.
I've never gone back
Yeah.
to rewatch it because I
Oh, me
remember
neither.
the plot and I'm like, oh no. We're not gonna revisit that. Yeah.
I like 2 though. I forgot.
Yeah,
about
X-Men.
When nature calls,
Yeah.
X-Men.
X-Men, right.
X-Men.
Oh yeah.
First Class, incredible.
First
movie.
Class is great. It's funny because somewhere along the line, and AJ knows this, you guys know this. Somewhere along the line, I started just calling everyone Charles
Yeah,
because of how
Charles.
I love how Xavier,
Perfection.
all the Xaviers say it, and so like half the time I'll call my wife Sophia Charles, and I'll just be like,
Wait, you mean how Magneto
yeah, the
says
remote
it?
is
Charles.
Magneto says it.
how Magneto. Sorry, how
It's
Magneto
funny.
says
In college,
it.
I used to say that a lot. We go, Charles. The thing that
Oh,
sticks
really?
with me is in the very first X-Men, there's a part.
X-Men, dude. In their
Oh,
first
I don't-
encounter, in the very
I'm not
beginning when he's
saying-
walking away.
I'm not
Charles!
saying the same thing. The thing I'm saying is way dumber than what you're thinking. But there's a part where Wolverine shows up and what's his name? Charles Xavier goes, I'm Charles Xavier. Would you like some breakfast? There's for some reason like personal meme where I would say with my friends, I go, I'm Charles Xavier. Would you like some breakfast? Like, because he kind of escalates a little bit, and we just took it and went and went and went, and so I still say it, and it cracks me up every time I watch the movie. Would you like some breakfast?
in my
So
now around the like every so often, like once a week maybe, I'll just go, "We are the
Not
future
them."
Charles."
Yeah.
The future
And then-
Charles, that's
and
the
then-
line.
And then
That's the
Jack
line.
or Sophia
Not
or
them.
someone will go, "Not them."
So good.
That's the one. That's in the first
We are the
one.
future Charles, not them.
So perfect.
I watched First Class
How do you get
this week for
two-
the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
First time?
Big into,
Pretty good.
I liked X-Men so much growing up. The
Yeah.
cartoon series that '97 picks up on. Like, just loved that.
Yeah.
And loved.
Kevin
Yeah,
Bacon.
I mean, it's incredible, and like the new one is incredible. Like, I was just like grinning from ear to ear, and like loved the games, all the game stuff with X-Men, and then the
Yeah.
movies came out. Like the first 2 X-Men movies, and I dipped out. I was like, no, thank you.
Oh, interesting.
I was like,
Oh.
no, thank you.
X2 is widely
I was
regarded as one of the
obsessed.
better
And then,
X-Men
but then I saw
movies.
Logan, and I was like, oh,
Brian
Logan
Cox,
is
dude.
incredible. And then I saw X-Men First Class this week, just because I was like, I should watch another X-Men. And people always said,
I like the submarine
Class.
part.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
First Class, right? Where they lift where he lifts
Yeah.
the submarine. I'm like, oh, damn it, Magneto's back, baby.
First Class was fun. First Class was fun. I see that. I think the problem for me, I know you were mentioning Stakes, and I haven't seen the one that you mentioned about Stakes.
Yes. Days of Future Past.
The problem for me is some of the X-Men movies didn't feel fun enough. And for me, like I always associated X-Men
gets
with
very
fun.
serious.
You know, they were fun.
That's
Like they
an
were obviously
interesting-
serious.
Yeah.
But they also were fun, especially like Gambit. Gambit's fun. You know, Gambit when he's not like doing fights with with other characters, he's like fun. He's like punky and cool and fun. And like I feel like X-Men was
He's so
just like
cool.
fun, and then like the movies were just like so serious, so deadly
Well, that's-
serious. Even though Logan is serious, but it's just like Logan is a special class of
yeah.
its own. But like I felt like
That's what I love about.
I felt
keep
like
going,
just
yeah.
like First Class had First Class is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it had a sense of fun about itself.
Days of
you
Future
know?
Past, I
Yeah.
feel like
Totally.
brings
Yeah.
that back a little bit. The like
Yeah.
colorful.
It has some fun, yeah.
Because to me, yeah,
Definitely.
that's sort of.
With old Wolverine in
Yeah.
the past. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is such
I need
comedy.
to watch that. Yeah.
It's a fun one. I mean, it's weird because that was the thing for me as a
Yeah.
kid. Is I was like, oh, they're so colorful, and I think of like Wizard magazine and like the sort of like half tone and like pinks and blues and oranges of like the comics. I would love to see more of that when they do it in live action, like that sort of bright, garish. Like I'm so
Yeah,
tired
yeah.
of the like bleak, like well, it's the real world, so they have to
Yeah.
look real, and they got to wear black rubber and black leather, and I'm like, go for crazy, which is what's fun about like Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's absurd. He looks absurd. You know, there's some groundedness, but he's colorful, and I think that's really appealing. Like I do wish that people were a little more, you know, like Spider-Man looks silly. We can accept other silly looking characters. And yeah, I love all the like Cyclops' band is so ridiculous, but it looks awesome. Like
Yeah.
I love overly designed, you know, the sort of like Capcom feel, like where like Street Fighter and
Yeah.
this and, you know, yeah.
Toad being
Yeah,
all
it's
weird.
just
Oh
so
my God,
visually
yeah,
appealing.
Toad.
It's like
Yeah.
ice cream or sorbet or so. We're just like, I just want to eat all these colors, and yeah, I kind of miss that. And the fun as a big element of it that
Yeah.
which I feel like thankfully the show nails, where it's the jokes are
Oh, it does. Yeah.
consistently
It
so
does.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish they cashed in on Mr. Sinister in the live action. That was kind
yeah,
of
that would have been an interesting.
Never...
Maybe he was considered too
Yeah.
magical or something. You know, like
Sure,
even though they had
yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they like trying to do Sinister Six?
That's a
like,
different
or no, wait,
Sinister.
that's
That's-
never mind.
They
That's a
kind of
different
did that
thing.
with
That's a different-
Spider-Man.
They teased it in one of the post credits.
Yeah, they're kind of doing it.
One of the X-Men movies has a post credit scene where they tease the Essex Corporation or whatever, which is Mr. Sinister, but just never.
He's a hard
went
character.
down.
I feel like you'd have to kind of
Totally.
hard reboot the entire X-Men series to really
Yeah.
allow
Yeah.
a Sinister to creep in there, because I feel like Apocalypse they found a way to make it like, okay, cool, he's an ancient thing, but like Sinister's a whole other ball of, you know,
Yeah.
just like Madeline
Yeah.
Pryor,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, she's a magical. I mean, I guess she's tied to Sinister, but there's where the GR, you know, like or the Shi'ar, like that whole thing. Like I feel like the live action would be like, we can't do any of this.
Yeah. Dude, that reminds me of that. The Apocalypse, I don't really like it that much, but that scene in the beginning in the ancient Egypt is
Oh, yeah.
so
barely
sick.
remember it, but I
That's
was
cool.
watching the making of recently
It's
for some reason, and I saw
awesome.
bits and pieces of it, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
That was a cool scene. Really cool scene.
That's part of what I love about X-Men in general in the comics and the cartoon especially, like that it can handle both that like fun and jovial kind of tone, and then just get like real
insanely
dark and
serious.
sad.
Like
It
Days
does
of
it
Future
well.
Past
It does
is
it
like
well.
insane.
And it does it
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think is so strong about X-Men and the animated series. Like God Almighty, it gets there are some serious
The
moments.
Phoenix
So
stuff
right, it
and
balances it
it's
so perfectly.
Yeah, dark like Phoenix Chronicle. Like the Phoenix stuff as a kid was like the first thing in media that I remember just being like,
Felt
Yeah.
big.
wow, yeah, like this
It
felt
so
huge.
big and important.
And like I read the comics of it, I watched the show of it, I had the tapes, you know. Like I remember I had Night of the Sentinels and I had the Phoenix Saga on VHS.
sick.
That's
and
the
like
Night of the Sentinels is
that
my
shit
phone
felt
case. That's
huge to me.
I don't know if you can see
Iconic.
that, but
Oh my god!
Oh, look at that.
So
Oh,
The
it's so
iconic.
VHS,
good, yeah.
I got a
so rad.
I
How many
had that
VHS
VHS, dude.
were there then?
what was it?
I don't know. I think they had like, from my recollection as a kid, they had like
There was like
special ones,
12.
the
My
two-parters
buddy
or whatever.
There's a
Isaac,
row.
who's
Yeah.
Bishop, just bought them all.
It was a row. Yeah.
You could definitely like line them all up.
Like,
Oh yeah, because the
They were
ad for
obsessed with lining
'97
things up.
has the lined
Yeah.
up spines of
Yeah.
VHSs, right?
I have the X-Men. I wish I brought them in, dude. I have these X-Men
Yes.
trading cards
They're
from
amazing.
the 90s. It's one of my favorite things I ever
Wow.
collected. And some of the
They made
cards,
some new renditions of that for the
Yes,
show. Too.
which I need.
some of the cards are 3 cards together, like
Oh,
1, 2, 3, and
The Exodia.
it's so
Sorry,
awesome.
I thought my dog was
Oh, I
knocking.
gotta-
They're on the couch. I thought I
Ducky.
heard one of them growling or like pawing at my door,
Aw.
but they were not. Yeah, those cards as a kid, I was obsessed. I had the like
But they were not.
sleeves with like your parents would keep like photos, but I had put
Yep,
cards in it
yep.
instead, and it like nothing fit right, and I'd always be rearranging them because they'd be sliding around in like the dumb photo album.
yeah.
Back before I realized you
Yeah.
could just buy card plastic things.
Yeah, I was gonna say if only they had card folios.
Yeah,
for
that was
something
definitely
like
a thing, but I wasn't smart enough to know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna blast through some
All right.
comments real quick, so we could try to get through these. Zach Wojnar says, "As for X-Men, the hill on which I'm willing to die is this: X-Men Origins Wolverine is an awesome movie. It's got cool action, a shockingly subversive depiction of Deadpool, the great Danny Houston, and Hugh Jackman brings his A game as always. But we just take that for granted these days. What more do you want?"
Well.
I just liked that because I thought it would piss Huber off.
Yeah.
It's not.
Them dying on the hill, and we're just
we
saluting
salute
them.
you.
Thank you for your service. No comment.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I actually I saw that movie in theaters. I think I've seen almost all the X-Men movies in theaters, and I remember as I was watching it being like, "All right, this isn't what I expected for Deadpool, but sure, you know."
Well, I remember, that, and I remember being pissed off because even back then I was obsessed with continuity. So I was like, "Wait, Sabretooth
Yeah, that
is
was
his
super
brother?
weird.
I remember
What
being,
the hell
Yeah.
are you talking
I remember
about?"
being very confused by
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
like going back to like a comic I had or like one of the tapes or the show and being like, "Were they what?"
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, the X-Men movie universe is the most convoluted
oh,
retcon.
the continuity is insane.
Yeah, there's no there are so many contradictions. It is actually wild.
The movie, the one, whichever movie that was, kind of attempts to put it all back.
Yeah,
Days of
yeah,
Future
yeah,
Past
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Attempts to put it all back together again.
Yeah.
Pretty successful.
It's fun.
I'd say so.
At a certain point, you're just like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go with it.
Duff says, "Never before these past 2 months have I felt read the manga more. Being a fan of X-Men and Invincible and seeing 2 great adaptations come out at the same time and people stumble upon what I like about the franchises has me wanting to scream, 'You fools!' Especially with how cool Cyclops is. But I've been around those people, so I'm going to hold off. I don't... What? Favorite X-Men movie has to be First Class because of its leaning into the philosophical conflict between Charles and Eric and giving Magneto some great moments to shine in terms of ability and character. I mean, yeah, First Class rules."
Yeah, it does.
Cotolito says favorite X-Men is tied between First Class and Days of Future Past. I think those two really showcase the strengths of X-Men in that even if the ramifications are world-threatening, their central conflicts are smaller scale. Zorgla says the 2000 X-Men movie was the first live-action superhero movie I ever saw, and I loved how normal the cast looked in their casual clothes and black leather suits. These weren't dorks in colorful pajamas anymore. Realistic, practical costumes make the movie feel more genuine and impactful, which is why I love Nolan, Batman, Captain America, and the first Iron Man so much. I mean, there is something to be said, I think, for, like, translating things to live action. Like, sometimes stuff doesn't work. Like, I mean, I think that the Bruckheimer Batmans get, like, shit on, but, like, those are really fun, colorful...
There's a Bruckheimer
What?
Batman?
I guess there's one.
Schumacher.
Schumacher.
I was like, wait, I want to see that.
Produced it, yeah.
Joel Schumacher. Yeah, I said the wrong name.
One of those Heimers.
They're fun.
Or Mockers.
They're colorful.
I can't abide.
They're fun and colorful. I'm not saying they're like high art. I'm just saying, like, if you're going fun and crazy and cartoony,
They're fun. The Batman
that's how
Forever
it turns
is highly
out.
underrated.
And people didn't
Batman
like
Forever is a lot of fun.
I'm too invested.
I mean,
I love
Adam
them.
West Batman.
At every birthday party I have,
Batman
they
and
play.
Robin.
Month. Yeah.
I'm too invested in
dude,
Batman. I'm too close to it. I don't like
Sophia
it.
on a plane was watching the original Adam West Batman the movie, and we were both cracking up at the part where he's trying to get rid of that bomb. And it's so funny.
Those are
like
funny.
It still works. Like
Adam West Batman rules.
he runs one way and there's like a baby, a mom with a baby, and he's like, oh, I can't go that way. He runs the other way and there's a bunch of nuns, and he's like, oh, and he runs the other way. There's like a recovering alcoholic or something, and he's like, oh, I can't do that. And then like,
How do you know he's
finally,
recovering?
and then he finally throws it in the water and gets rid of it, right? And then he's just like, sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb anymore.
I need to grab my
And then he
laptop
says to Robin,
charger.
he's like, even these reprobates are worth...
I'll be right back.
yeah,
Sorry, my
yeah,
phone. I was at a full charge. Hold on.
I love that. And he's like, even these reprobates are worth, like, they're worth, like, they can be redeemed or whatever.
Boy, those Adam
love
West
that.
Batman the TV show episodes are like, I feel like also they gave me ended in like these weird fetishy things. Like I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Say that again. You dropped out for a second.
Oh,
yeah.
Am I doing?
Say
fetishy thing again.
No, the whole sentence.
that
Batman
whole part,
show.
we lost it. Batman show fetishy things.
Yeah.
What?
So I feel like 5 or 6 years old, I was watching all these Batman Adam West episodes, and all of them end in these weird, like fetishy, like cliffhangers where they're like strapped up or like hanging into boiling water or like tied up in ropes and then like about to get cut like with buzzsaws, but like all of them end with them about to get like, I don't know, just like strapped to a table somehow. To like tune back next week, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And like
every episode, someone was
there's
tied
some
down.
kind of bondage
yeah.
play as the cliffhanger. And I'm like,
It was a sassy little show for
It was.
sure.
Welcome back, AJ.
Hey, thanks. My phone or my computer was at like 3%, and I was like, I should do something about this.
I'm going to skip ahead to, I asked people what their favorite X-Men moment was. Eric Sayor says, when Magneto kills the Nazis in Argentina in First Class, of course. I could have watched a whole movie of that.
Yes,
Very good. Fede Krauch, favorite X-Men moment, any time travel and apocalypse arc from the 90s series, as well as the season 2 finale of X-Men Evolution, and obviously the Phoenix and Dark Phoenix sagas. Hell yeah. Tyler Travis, one of the best things in all superhero movies was the White House scene in X2.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
that part's amazing.
With Nightcrawler.
Yep.
Your
Yeah.
favorite.
God, it's sick.
That part is so cool. And like I remember thinking the effects at the time looked very good.
It was insane.
Like I was like,
I remember when I got
"Whoa."
the DVD, I watched that scene like 20 times in a
Oh
row
yeah, for sure,
immediately.
for sure.
Yeah.
And like I watched like lots of making ofs of
Yeah.
it. They also say Cyclops landing in X-Men 97
Yeah,
is
that
also
part's
pretty
insane.
damn cool. Cotolito, my favorite X-Men moment is in First Class when X and Magneto tries to recruit Wolverine and he tells them to fuck off. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That is very funny.
Legendary.
That one's really, really long.
I
So I'm
forgot
gonna-
about that. That one's so good.
And then next I said, any questions for AJ? And I screamed these. They're all fine. Tyler Travis says, you are
Thank
great
you.
as Gambit, AJ.
Oh, would you want me to say something else?
finish
You
up.
paused for so long. Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry. Oh.
I just like looking at you.
No, you're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Stop it.
You're beautiful. Fede Krauch says, Fede. Well, this will make sense
Okay.
why I'm doing that in a minute. First of all, love
Yay.
Dune Voltron, criminally underrated
Thank you.
series and performance. Did you do anything special to prepare for the role since you're taking over the mantle of a beloved character? I think that might apply
so.
to Gambit.
Applies
Unless
to
that also
Lotor as
applies
well.
to
Prince
Prince
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah. That's what I call myself.
I never
I'm
saw it.
Prince whatever. Yeah, I mean, I listen to Chris Potter's voice incessantly, and then I also I have a friend who is Cajun, and I was just asking him things cryptically about like the script and like. So I couldn't obviously tell him what it was, but I was like, if someone's in this situation and they say this to someone, could they add a little thing here that might be like a phrase or a word? And so sometimes they'd give me a little thing, be like, add me after it, or say
fun.
this instead. Or so there's little things in there that like mon Dieu and like qui a and like yeah. There's little things that he gave me that I was like, all right, and he'd send me the pronunciation of it, and I would just listen to it over and over again. So that was.
It feels very authentic.
It's what do we know?
I
I
know,
tried
but-
my. It's also you're bridging the gap between trying to add things, but also what came before. You can only step so far away from what established because everyone knows
Yeah.
Gambit sounds a certain way, and so that my thing is to get as close to him as possible and keep him feeling in his 20s, 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. And we need to talk about the crop top
Please.
for just
Everyone's
a second.
obsessed.
The crop top and
It's so good.
Toms, like, come on.
I saw that like a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe, when I first saw that image, and I was like, yes, I was like,
my
yes,
God.
that's it.
It's perfect.
It's brilliant.
It's perfect. And it's so 90s. It's
yes,
so
exactly.
97. That's what people like nowadays, I think. Like, I don't know if people are getting like bugaboo about it, but it's just like, look at photos of men from 1997. They're all wearing crop tops and hot pants, and it's like,
I just think about like
happened?
on vacation. There's
bring
photos
that
of like
back.
just my dad, like who's not any which way
Yeah.
about in like
Normal guys.
short booty shorts is what essentially it looks like, and like
Yeah.
little t-shirts, and
Yeah.
it's just the way, and his shirt's cut
It's
down to
insane.
here, and like it's just the way it was,
Yeah.
and he's got a little fanny pack and a hat.
That's how
and
it
looks,
was.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, man.
the fanny packs.
But
on
yeah, when
men.
I saw that, I was like, "That's
was a
perfect." What
different
else?
time.
Gambit's just in his home, in his element, and he's got this little silly shirt and making beignets. Like I was like, "Yep, that seems like something he'd wear." He wears a pink chest and a jacket, like a trench coat with like blue, and like, yeah, what would you think his casual wear would be? It's so good. I love it.
If this ventures into spoilers, you don't have to answer it. Duff wants to know, how do you feel about the material you got to work with after the interpersonal relationship drama introduced between Rogue and Gambit at the end of episode 2?
I will say when I read the script, I was heartbroken for Gambit. I was like, no, because I love, obviously, I ship Rogue and Gambit, and they're, I have since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm a little crusty. I feel the way Gambit feels. I don't like this. Is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Not to say also to add that
I-
I appreciate what Rogue is going through. I don't think what Rogue is going through. I think that she's actually. There's nothing wrong with how she feels, and if fans shouldn't, point their ire at the character or the actor or anything. It's just like, yeah, she's being given this choice to finally, touch and be felt and held, and like that's something she doesn't get to experience. So that's really enticing. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I won't say the context of what I screamed at you in caps, in case people haven't watched it yet. But I just said like, what? And then you were like, don't remind me, Cher. And I was like, that's really funny. Zach Wojnar says, hi, AJ, you're
Thank
awesome
you.
as Marty McFly. Then I like to end episodes just like saying like anything else from people. And Fede Crouch said, 2 things. Since Isla asked me last time, my name is pronounced like FedEx, but without the X. So that's why I was going,
Oh, okay.
Fede. But I don't mind being called like sexy, horny Austin Butler from Dune,
He
which
was
is
so
Fade.
awesome in that
I
movie.
think.
Holy shit.
Oh, it was amazing. Second, they just uploaded 4 seasons of My Hero Academia to Netflix. If Huber is looking for a Naruto fix, this may be as close as it gets.
I saw the first 10 episodes, loved it. Just got to go back.
Gotta go back. Raymond
I
Wheeler III.
even fell off Demon Slayer too. I watched 2 seasons of that.
Demon
and the
Throttle,
movie.
Demon Throttle.
Too much stuff.
Raymond Wheeler III says, note from last week, Huber, Blade Runner is also my go-to watch when I'm having some insomnia. The vibes just help with clearing the mind to focus on sleep, I guess.
100%.
From JG...
You got to do the noise.
What? Oh. The Deckard apartment sound that I love so much.
I thought you were going to do wind chime noises. What kind of noise are you going to make? That entire movie is scored with wind chimes. So. Just. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah.
Evangelist going. From JG.
What?
877 cash out. Also, I want to say I just saw the new film by Ryosuke Hamaguchi, Evil Does Not Exist. Don't skip this one. I would be excited to hear what you think of it.
Perfect.
AJ, if that's a running gag that we have on this show because we don't want to parasite people by telling them that things are amazing and perfect and beautiful and transcendent works of art. So we just say, "I'm excited to hear what you think of it."
That's what my doctor says before they give me a needle or something. It's I'm excited to hear what you think of it. And be like, "Oh, that's an oddly positive spin on this this vaccine."
My doctors say don't expect much.
Yeah.
Don't expect
For your colonoscopy, don't expect much as they put on the glove. Yeah.
Oh, Evil Does Not. It might be in theater. I think it just came out.
Okay.
Maybe. Duff says, Delicious in Dungeon on Netflix has been cozy AF. A bunch of fantasy archetypes who we slowly learn are just a bunch of weirdos, have to cook monsters as they dive into a dungeon to retrieve their healer after a failed expedition. I can't stress enough that if you like Baldur's Gate 3, you should watch it. It's animated by Trigger. Oh, cool. Nice. And the author of the manga is such a fan of the games, she included a bunch of high-level magic users realizing the best magic would be the ability to lubricate the ground so your enemies trip and you can just run up and beat them up. That's funny. 3 more.
Wait, what was the name of that one? I've seen that manga, and I'm like,
Delicious in Dungeon.
I think I've seen
never heard
that,
of
or maybe I'm thinking of something else. But it's about eating and dungeon crawling essentially. And I was like, this looks interesting.
That's fun.
Dragon Goes House Hunting is a random thing. If you guys haven't seen that, it kind of cracks me up. It's about a dragon looking for a house, and with a real estate agent who's I don't know how to describe it other than pompous Legolas type character, and it's just delightful. Yeah.
Is that an anime?
I think it's on Netflix. It was Crunchyroll, but
Crunchyroll.
It's an anime. Sorry, yeah, and it has one of the best opening themes I've ever heard. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Dope.
I love that. Kotolito, keeping on the anime tip. Excuse me. Kotolito says classic anime of the month is Blue Submarine No. 6, a 4-part OVA about mankind's last stand against Zorndike, a Dr. Moreau.
My allergy medicine is
That's
called
our word.
Zorndike.
Yeah. A Dr. Moreau-esque rogue scientist who has messed up Earth's magnetic field and launched his army of animal mutants to decimate mankind. It is a mid-apocalypse war story with the vibes of Serial Experiments Lane and a jazzy soundtrack that almost rivals that of Cowboy Bebop. What the fuck?
Jeez.
I think I've
write
actually
these
heard
down
of this
for me.
Zorndike.
Zorndike. Also, watching Blue Sub 6 on my old DVDs has gotten me nostalgic for 90s era CGI title cards. Hell yeah. Especially the various Dolby Surround ones. Yeah, I remember those. Like the helicopter flying through a city. It makes watching something more special, like a ritual you have to go through.
The HBO one's so good, with the miniatures. And I love that. I just want to go to sleep and float through there.
That just made me think of... That just made me think of the beginning part of Toys. Remember how they had that whole miniature
often that
city?
movie comes up and how little I remember about it, other than a robot spying on them during a nude scene as a kid.
I just remember the VHS box.
I just remember being a kid and being I shouldn't see this in the theater.
I think it's a good movie. I'm going to go ahead and say Toys is a good movie.
Toys is insane. I've seen
movie.
Toys a million times, and my sister and I...
Is it rated R?
No, it's PG-13, I think. My sister and I quote Toys
specific.
Almost every time.
My brother and I do too. It's a siblings movie. Yeah.
That's funny.
I hate it when food touches. Military bad, I want a military meal. Yeah, I hate it when food touches. It's LL Cool J. He's like a military man.
That's cool.
Need more space.
I was to say, Deep Blue Sea is what I
Movie's crazy.
associate him
The
with.
movie goes on so many fucking turns. Zorgla, Dune Part 2 is visually stunning and exciting, but overstuffed. We needed more time for characters and relationships to develop between major plot points because it felt rushed. It did feel really rushed.
It did feel rushed.
Ideally, Dune 2 would be split into 2 movies
rushed,
itself, although that's a big ask. It did feel weirdly rushed, but at the same time, like, that is only like a third of the book.
You know
so
what I
it's
need
like,
to do is watch them both back to back as one.
That's what I'm waiting to do. I'm excited. I'm
next-
excited to do that. Yeah.
That'll be my next review of Dune.
Jesse Blue, first I want to say how excited I am to have AJ here. Hi, Waves.
Hi.
We've watched all the older movies but didn't get to see the animated 97 series because as much as I love X-Men, I was living on my own and had no TV at the time. I am very much looking forward to catching up with them through this new show. Lastly, please buy Spoops. They're super cute, and
thank
AJ
you.
is amazing. Multi-talented artist in many forms.
That's
Hug
why
to
I know
all.
Jesse
Love you,
Blue's
Jesse
name
Blue.
is Spoops. I can visualize
those
like
Spoops are
It's
cool.
true.
a Twitter handle, with them. But thank you.
Just the other day, I was talking to Elise because like me, she has a little display of all the spoops at her
I've
house, and I have them
infected all
above
of
my
you.
computer and mine.
Yes.
Yes,
You make
did us all.
Bloodborne ones.
And I was just saying to her, like,
There's two plague-esque doctors. There's like a plague doctor and a plague nurse
Plague
that are
doctors,
similar,
yeah.
but yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
which
yeah.
of course I have, but I don't know. I'm just
Aw,
amazed
thank
by
you,
your
and I'm amazed
talent,
by
AJ,
yours.
And like, I don't know how you make.
Said I'm amazed by yours.
What?
You couldn't believe it.
Say it one more time.
This
No, I
talent?
just didn't. Say it again for the people in the back.
These
you mean
talents?
these?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. You can make models, you can make spoops, you're amazing voice actor.
Stop.
Like, you do it all, and I'm
Well,
happy to
thank
have
you.
you as a friend and here on our
Yeah.
weird little podcast that starts at 9 p.m. and goes till 11 p.m.
Coworker first. I just want to establish that is, yeah.
yeah.
Also
Mild
coworker.
acquaintance.
Yeah. Matt, you're podcaster first,
coworker first.
friend
Anyway.
second.
That means a lot to me. You have no idea.
Nobody can get close to this. I'm an
Got friend
island.
up to second?
I don't know how this started. It just became a dumb joke with Elise that I was like, whoa. Hey, coworker.
We're not friends. Yeah.
Yeah, keep
keep your
colleague if you're
distance.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what she said. She said you said that your colleagues
Yeah.
first and friends second.
That's such a shitty thing to say.
anyway.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
That's going to do it for us this month. Reaction Shots, patreon.com/reaction shots. Check it out. $3 gets you the Discord, in on the conversation, and all of that. And we love it. The Discord's really chill, really nice, friendly vibes. I really enjoy it. I like reading what everybody's saying in there.
Yeah.
I like lurking.
It's the
Huber's a
coolest
lurker.
place to hang this side of Glendale.
Yeah. Woo!
Had to get one more in.
This is how I drive through Glendale. Is I just honk my little alien thing. Yeah.
That was you?
Matt, your Better Than Speed podcast has a new episode.
That's back in
What do you-
action, and we disappointed Tokyo
Sick.
Slim
Better
terribly.
Than Speed, dude.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Oh, he's
so
pissed. Patron
listen
said
for the
reaction.
controversy. Yeah.
Sick.
They this month
spoil
is
it.
Point Break
Speed.
versus
Oh wow.
Speed.
Great
Is Point Break
rivalry.
better than Speed?
Great rival. Wow.
That's the AJ the premise.
I was on it.
Of their
It was
Is
podcast.
us.
Keanu better than Keanu?
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
Huber
they
on.
just- Oh yeah, you've been on. I've also been on it.
Hell yeah.
We did Firestarter.
I don't
for
remember
mine.
what movie we did.
Firestarter.
Probably
Did we
not
do
better than
Firestarter?
Speed.
Firestarter.
Gremlins
Was
2.
Was it Gremlins
Part
2? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Gremlins, I was gonna
We
say.
gotta get
it's probably
Huber
Gremlins.
pick on. Yeah.
Hard. Hard.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Huber, get on there.
Love speed.
Do speed versus speed.
Cans.
Way to go, Jack. Way to
There
go.
you go, just shoot the hostage. Wildcat.
It's the best. It's the best.
Just
That's our scumbag!
randomly shouting out lines from Speed, which is something we do pretty regularly around here. AJ, you got anything to pitch or say or do or whatever? I mean,
And watch X-Men 97.
obviously.
I don't know when this comes out. I'll be at WonderCon doing a very brief signing.
This is
All
coming
right.
out
Well,
tomorrow
then the morning. The
to
day
edit this
after
right
Saturday,
now.
I'll be at WonderCon, and they're doing a panel, and I'll be signing with Lenore, who's Rogue, and I'll just have. I'm only going to be there for like an hour and a half, so I don't know. It's on my social media. You'll see.
Check it
Check out AJ LoCascio.
Yeah,
on
I post
social
pictures of
media.
myself and my dogs.
Wonderful dogs.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Huber. And thank you at home for listening or watching. We will be back next month with another theme that we will announce midway through the month on our Patreon, and you can get in on that discussion there, patreon.com.
Sorry for this. You can hear it breathing.
I loved it. Oh.
Sorry. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.